go. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Core. This is Core, where we talk about video games in the industry and all the news around it, the games we're playing, and all that stuff. Why it's 1/3 of the trilogy of shows on the Frog Pants Network that focus on gaming, which you can check out at frogpantsplays.com. That's this show, The Instance, where we tackle big issues, and the Boop Show, where we talk about indies. We get into the smaller spaces of gaming. But if you're looking for the middle bit, the meat of the sandwich, you came to the right place. Welcome back. I'm Scott with John and Bo. Yeah, it's good to be the meat, right? You like being the meat?
Yeah.
Yeah? Meat's good.
Wait, I'm the meat, John.
Oh,
bread.
I thought we were all the meat. Aren't we all the meat?
Oh, that's for a meat sandwich. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, because the two other shows are the bread. We're the meat in the middle. See? Yeah.
Is it an all-meat sandwich?
It's an all-meat sandwich all the time. All meat. Never stop with the meat.
Well, that's just a hard no from vegans, then.
Well, it's ultimate meat.
Oh, is it?
Too. What do they call that? Special meat?
No, it's
the
called...
meat you can't believe is meat.
It's impossible meat.
Impossible meat. There you go.
Yeah. That's the stuff. So if you're hearing the show and you're not a patron of the show, you got to hear a whole bunch of extra stuff today. I want to point that out because that extra 42 minutes or so is what we call bonus content on the show, and it really ends up being its own show in a weird way. And if you would like to hear that every week and get more of that broader discussion, why head on over to patreon.com/core show and take advantage of us today. All right, let's get right into it. There was a leak. There's still some question as to how accurate these leaked video game names are. But Nvidia, makers of fine video cards everywhere, has confirmed it. I still feel funny about it, though, because I don't know how you confirm this when you're not the one making these games. All you're confirming is that you've had these names come across your service, but they say the list is real. The claims are speculative. Here are the games that Nvidia, what's it called? GeForce Now service. And how are these leaked? They were leaked in some kind of like...
I need to say something.
Say it.
Nvidia killed the AMD star.
Oh, man.
when you said Nvidia, that's been going in my head the whole time. Anyways.
You got to say ATX star, because that's back when they were ATX.
Deep cuts.
Was it ATX? Yeah, ATX. Right? What am I thinking of? Before AMD bought them, they were ATX video cards. That's it. My brain's not that old. Anyway, here's what they've got. They've got this database containing a whole bunch of stuff, including God of War from the PlayStation. God of War, that one, the new one, the last new one, not the one that's being made right now, but the one before that. There were already rumors that they were going to maybe do that. There's screenshots of some of this stuff, by the way. God of War PC, Gears 6, a whole bunch more. I'll read some of the more exciting ones here. How about Titan Quest 2?
What?
You looking for a Diablo hold? You looking for Diablo scratching? You're itching?
Hell yes. That's exciting. That's the best one on Titan Quest. Classic.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Quest. 2021 Titan Quest or 2022? Please.
Is that what they're saying? Is 22 or 21? I hope
it's called Titan Quest 2, but I'm just saying like that game is old too, and like a new modern, it was a good game.
Yeah.
They could make another one. I don't
ATI, not ATX. Sorry, everybody. Gosh dang it. It is ATI. ATI used to make those cards.
Kill the ATI star.
It doesn't roll off the tongue as easy, but it's all right.
No, it's not as... Yeah.
How about this one? Half-Life 2 Remastered. That's one.
That seems awesome. I would very much like to get back into that world. They updated all the graphics for Alex, so they got the assets lying around.
Mm-hmm. Some of
pretty
them anyway.
Easy, pretty easy to do.
That's a very old game now. 2004 is a long time ago, and it would take a lot to really bring that into the modern looking sort of age. It can't just be up-res to 4K and higher resolution.
No, but they probably got all the models, like it's all the same dudes. Like they've done half the work already. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Remember how excited we were when we first saw the tech demo for Half-Life 2, and it was like, look, you shoot wood and it splinters.
Yeah.
And that blew our mind.
Yeah.
We're like, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't put a decal of a bullet hole in the wood, and the wood doesn't just go and split exactly the same as everything else.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
No,
this
that
is
game
incredible.
stuff was amazing. The gravity gun or whatever it was, that what it was called? The gravity gun.
Yeah.
Picking up barrels, firing them at people, and doing it with physics, like stuff would fall around itself like real physics. It was kind of unheard of in 04. Very few examples.
Now we take it for granted. Now, like, an indie game comes out without that tech, and we're like, what's going on with this?
Yeah, right? Yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day.
Must have been one guy made it.
Could have been one guy. You never know. I always think about, like, I think about this stuff all the time, and I think about the things I take for granted now that I just take as, like, acceptable, amazing stuff in a game that no one's even heard of, but it's got it all in there now. It's built into these engines. It's all part of Unreal and Unity and everybody else. But back in the day, that was like groundbreaking, life-altering stuff happening in that demo. I was beyond excited. And I love that game. I played it to completion, Half-Life 2. And I would probably maybe play it again. I don't know. I have to think about it. Xbox Project Oxide, unannounced strategy game, whatever the hell that is. We don't know nothing about
Age of
that.
Empires, maybe new Age of Empires.
Maybe, but we have that coming.
They're already doing one.
Yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, so it might be that. I don't know, but
it could be
strategy game.
It could be a code name. Yeah, it totally could be. Let's
seems
see.
like a big deal.
Bioshock 2022. If I say that too loud, my daughters will freak out. They love that series.
What do you think the crazy world we would visit in a Bioshock 2022 would be?
Everything's set in
We've done an underwater city and a sky city.
Yeah, everything's in a trailer in that third one.
A lava city.
Ooh, a lava city.
Oh, Trailer Park Boys? It's just like a giant Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, with piss jugs and all that. That'd be awesome. No, I don't know. Actually, that's a really great question. What would be the because
space base, the moon base.
It could be space, yeah. But then again, that's just kind of what's the game that these are all based on anyway. System Shock. It's like that. So I don't know. Maybe. XCOM 3. No other details. We know what we want out of that. More great XCOM. Injustice 3. Cool.
Okay.
You know what that means? New Tom Taylor comic run. That's what that means.
Yeah, they get him back every single time. They're like, hey, want to write more comics? And the answer is yes.
That was my first taste of the Taylor writing, and I fell in love with his stuff after that. John was right. It was John, really, who introduced me to it. But I was so ready to never read that. I was so ready to just be like, that's based on the fighting game? Come on. Lame. Like, just as lame as I think the Fortnite crossover stuff is, and I probably shouldn't do that because maybe that stuff's okay. I don't know. I haven't read it. 0 Point or whatever it's called. But yeah, the Injustice comics are so freaking good. All right, Chrono Cross remaster. John, did that make you have a little?
Oh my gosh,
John
I'm
Gavin?
still excited about it.
Yeah.
I thought they forgot Chrono Cross existed as a video game.
Yeah.
And it turns out maybe they didn't, and maybe they're going to remaster it. I want to play Chrono Cross again so bad.
For the uninitiated, what is Chrono Cross?
It is the sequel to Chrono Trigger. The much debated, as far as what you think of it, sequel to Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
And it is very, very good. It is very, very different. It has an incredibly confusing anime-like story. It has a ton of recruitable characters, a bunch of branching paths. You can't get every character on a single playthrough. It has one of the best turn-based combat systems that's ever been put in a RPG game, and it has some of the best music in a video game of all time.
Well, I can tell you by looking at it, it's got some of the looking graphics I've seen in a while.
Look, it's a PlayStation game. Like, yes, that's what PlayStation games look like. Go look at a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Solid Snake didn't have eyes. I just want to remind everybody. He
Yep.
just had a shadow where his eyes should be.
You're right. No mouth either. Didn't he? Right? Yeah. When he'd talk, he'd say Metal Gear, but nothing was moving. It was just him.
Yeah.
Don't talk shit about Chrono Cross or John will
Yeah, right?
dog barking.
Yep.
Even the dog's like, stop messing with John. Chrono Cross.
Oh, John, I forgot to ask you both. Somebody asked me, who was it? Oh, my nephew who listens to the show. I think it was him. He said,
hopefully not the bonus show.
No, he asked whatever happened to Bos Flies, all the flies he had. He remembered that night.
They went away. I took my garbage out, and if there's no shit lying around for them to eat, they die or move away.
Well,
they moved away.
They moved away. All right. Well, they're probably dead, but yeah. They only lived like a day, right?
Yeah. But when you have hundreds of them, it doesn't feel like they live in a day.
I watched I drew an old comic forever years ago that was real stupid, but it was basically two flies sitting on a piece of bread. And the one fly says, "What was it like when you were my age, Grandpa?" And he goes, "All we had was a half a cracker, something that fell off a table." And he says, "When was that?" And he goes, "That was 10 a.m. this morning." That's the joke. Because they only live a day, see? It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I should probably redo it.
Tell the youngins how it was 10 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Anyway, what else? We got, so that's coming. Dragon's Dogma 2. Everyone loves the Dragon's Dogma, or at least it has a bit of a following.
I never played it and barely interested, but every time I see it come up, everyone's like, "I love this game. This was the best." So underrated.
There's a lot of passion behind that game. I've never played it, but a lot of people crazy for it.
I have played it, and I went on it was one of my binges where I was like, what else is like Skyrim? And I went and played like a million Skyrim ripoffs. And not that this is a ripoff. In fact, it was the one that seemed the most different, but it is very much like, hey, Capcom made an open-y, worldy fantasy game where you fight a lot. What made it really interesting was the dragon fights were these weird stages where you would like climb up on top of a dragon and like stab it in the head, and then it would shake you off, and you wouldn't be able to get up in there and do that for a while until the phase came where you could do it again. So they're really interesting boss fights, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You didn't just shoot at it or hit it. It was more involved in that. But
and I forgot. Apparently, there's a Netflix series as well.
Oh, is there? Like animated?
Yeah, like an anime. Yeah.
I would watch that. I'd be into that.
It's the full Capcom treatment.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was Capcom. Yeah.
Yeah, Capcom. That's at the time. I feel like it hurt it that it was Capcom, because I don't think anyone associated Capcom with Western fantasy stylings, and that's kind of what that game was. But it also felt Japanese. I don't know. It was an odd project. But I remember it was shown off at an E3 one year, 360 maybe Xbox stage. I don't remember. But I remember being really impressed by the lighting. Like, I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then I just took forever to play it and finally got a little taste of it. It's okay. One of my most excited on here is Titanfall 3. That one lands real good in my head.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too, because that's, fresh off of their Apex stint. And obviously a lot to live up with for that Titanfall 2 campaign. So I'm curious what they do. I liked their philosophy for the Titanfall 2. They said rather than write a campaign out, they just came up with what would be a bunch of cool levels and then loosely tied a story together between them.
Yeah, it worked.
And I wonder if they go back to that for this.
Yeah, it really worked. And I think that the success of Apex Legends, which, continually is up there, and everybody, I talked to all my little nephews and everybody I was talking to the other day. I'm like, what are you guys playing these days? Oh, I'm sick of Fortnite. I'm not playing Fortnite or Warzone anymore. I'm done with Call of Duty Warzone. I hate it. I don't know why anyone wants to play that. You know how kids are. They bounce off stuff so quick. But I go, what are you playing then? Oh, I'm back into Apex Legends Hardcore. We're loving it. It's so good. All my friends, like 30 of us, we're all playing that. So I think Apex has just got interesting long legs, for lack of a better way of describing it. And I feel
it's cool and not like a metaverse kids thing. Like I could see that being an appeal of Apex. Like it's it's still that way, but it's kind of adult, feels adult to it.
Plus, it kind of has it's got kind of a we're gonna do what we feel like trying attitude, and it's okay if it's like I don't feel like they're constrained the way Fortnite is now a platform that if it changes too much, you're screwed. You got to really hold the line and always have building in it and always have Fortnite be Fortnite. But I feel like Apex is willing to go, yeah, we'll do a little 3-on-3 mode. Yeah, we'll have a weird month where all you can do is this one map, or they just don't seem to care as much. And the game plays really well. And I think the success of Apex and the strength of that game, which is set in the Titanfall universe, rolls very nicely into what Titanfall 3 could be. So maybe they're like, hey, we could be like Activision, have our Call of Duty and our Warzone too, because that's what Call of Duty is now. It's a yearly release of a campaign game. and some multiplayer stuff, but you also have Warzone running all the time. Well, why not just have Apex Legends running all the time, and every year or every couple of years you've got something happening in Titanfall that's bigger and better? I'd be all for that. And it sounds like maybe that's true, so we'll see. Crysis 4, a fourth Crysis game.
That one's a weird one.
Yeah.
I don't even really know what Crysis is at this point.
I dig it. Crysis is a first-person. It's like what Doom is now. You know how you have a Praetor suit and you upgrade it? So that's what that was. You had a suit and you upgraded it, except it wasn't demons. It was just military. Like think Metal Gear, kind of. But what was really innovative about the first one is that it was an open world map, so you'd have to get from point A to point B. But I guess it's like Far Cry. I mean, if you played Far Cry, I'm sure it's like this. But basically, you traverse from A to B. But there was this whole like sandbox of a way that you could do it, and if you aggroed too much military, you get taken out. So you kind of had to be like sneaky, but then in certain spots you can go mondo and blow everything up, and then get back into hiding, and eventually you could stealth and stuff like. And then you would find the aliens. At least that was what Crysis and Crysis Warhead was like.
Yeah.
Crysis 2 and 3 were more like traditional corridor Doom style shooters, but they're basically Crytek Doom, for the most part.
I only played the first one, and I guess that's why I'm like, okay, well, now that we're at 4, what even is that game? Because I think the look of the suit in Crysis is one of the worst looking. Like, I hate how the suit looks. I love the maximum armor, maximum strength. Like, I like that business. That stuff's good. I'm on board with that. But I just think the suit looks stupid. And I every time they were walking around with their little heads showing out of the top of their suits in the first Crysis game, it just looked weird and wrong because the suit's designed to like kind of look like, I don't know, like your muscular structure, but it's all black and silver. And so everybody just looked like somebody had taken all their skin and just peeled it off. And they were just walking around talking like tough military guys. But I did like that first game. I liked what Bo said, the sandboxy element of it. And then when I heard like, oh, we're doing it again, but it's not going to be a sandboxy. It's going to be more straightforward. But look, it's the Crysis stuff. I was like, yeah, but that's the stuff I didn't like about the game. So them doubling down on that, I was like, that's weird. It's like you took the thing I didn't like and said, well, let's build a game around it. It's sort of like when Red Faction went to building things instead of destroying things.
But even though it was more corridory, it was still, it still wasn't like strict corridor. Like there's still, arenas and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't as the genius of the first one, but it is a good shooter. Like 2 and 3 are good shooter games.
Yeah. I mean, I think 1 was a good shooter game. The thing about Crysis, I always felt like this, and maybe I'm wrong, but they always felt like they were good games, but they were also like tech presentations to drive their new initiatives to make Crytek a competing engine. In the same way that Unreal Engine is based off the success of Unreal and Unreal Tournament and those games, which were also great games, but they pushed that engine forward. And IdTech did similar things, but didn't do it with the name thing. But literally, Crysis, Crytek, freaking Unreal. Like in a weird way, it's like, here, this is all predecessor to us selling an engine, and Crytek's still an engine people, use for games and stuff like that. So, I mean, I would be interested just to see what the hell's going on here. If 4 could be interesting, I don't know. We've learned a lot since Crysis 1 and 2. And 3 was all like urban stuff, like you were fighting in a city, if I remember right. And it was a lot more, I don't know. That was a weird game.
2 was very city-ish. Probably 3 as well. Like it got more corridor shooty. Yeah. But it has cool alien environments and stuff too, when you go into like the alien lands.
I remember the first one was such a tech demo for your video card. Like, will your card handle seeing these trees and these leaves, and everything was super detailed. Yeah. But nowadays, I mean, that's probably put to shame. But back in the day,
I think the first one was also very much a PC focused product, where 2 and 3 were also very console focused as well.
Yeah, so and that was that era where we started to see console or traditionally PC products getting very console-ified, so that you could kind of span all of it. Now it's just normal. Yeah. Like everything comes out on everything. People playing Deathloop right now, they're either playing it on PC or playing it on PlayStation. And back in the day, it would be like, well, one of those is a way better version because it was made for that. But now it's just kind of made for everything.
Yeah, they all perform at fairly much the same level.
Yeah, I like that.
You'd probably get more juice out of the PC, but not enough to brag.
Yeah.
PC people you can't really brag like I got better ambient occlusion than you. It's like no one cares.
I love that as a point of contention, though. That's a fun
check
one.
out the subsurface scattering on this. It's way better.
Dude, I got my SSTI up to 4x. I don't know about you and you're lame, but I don't even know what that is. I made that up, whatever that is. SSTI, what is that? That's nothing. I made it up.
I don't know.
It's bullshit.
I don't know.
Oh, Bayonetta 3. You know why I think that one's fake? Because Nintendo owns that company now.
Yeah, I was going to say because Nintendo bankrolled too, and...
Yeah, they own it. They're not putting that in... They literally own that studio now. They may make a 3, but it's not coming to PC. It'll be on.
Yeah,
is it a Nintendo property, or do they just own the company, and the company can still make its own choices?
Well, they own the company, and they made 2 exclusive. So I don't know if they would do anything different with 3.
Well, yeah, maybe 3 is going. No,
I had a dream about
2
her.
exclusive. You can't play. Yeah, I guess it is.
Here's what I know. In general, video games sell worse as their numbered sequels go on, and I can't imagine there's a huge market for, hey, play the hit sequel to the game that came out that none of you played. Like, you get to play the third one now.
Did I ever tell you guys this?
You were about to say something interesting about you had a dream about.
Yeah, it was
Bayonetta?
a couple years ago. It's not anything new, but I don't know if I ever shared it on a show. But I had a dream about Bayonetta. That is her name, right? That's her name in the game.
I don't think so.
I don't know
what her name is. I'm
guess
too
I
busy
don't
paying
know.
attention to other
We
things.
can call her Bayonetta. I get the hair. She's a hair witch.
She's a hair witch. She's got a lot of hair.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hair and everything when she's done.
Isn't she like Eleanor or something like that?
Eleanor? Eleanor,
Yeah.
the hair lady? I don't know.
Eleanor Bayonetta.
I mean, it's got a really weird story. I remember there was like just weird characters, like a fridge guy or something like that.
Fridge guy, yeah. No, you're right. He was kind of a what?
It's really washed. Yeah, her name is. Oh no, it is Bayonetta. Her
It
name
is
is Bayonetta. Real name is Cereza. Okay, so we were both somewhat right, although me much less right because it was not Eleanor. But
all right, so definitely.
But she did have another name, so I'm gonna hang my hat on that.
Definitely
so I can be in the
Bayonetta.
right group.
Well, anyway, in this dream, I'm stranded in an elevator with like 8 or 9 people, no one that I know, and the elevator breaks, stops, all the power's out, and it gets really cold. And Bayonetta's in there, and she made us all warm with her hair. Her hair flew all over the place and made everybody warm. That's the dream.
That sounds wonderful.
That's the dream.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, but whatever.
Not if it's her.
I don't
It's
know.
pretty
Some
cool.
people pay good money for that.
Yeah, they would. Actual Bayonetta hair blanket.
I want little gun shoes.
Oh, that's right. She had shoes in her guns, or guns in her shoes.
Shoes in her guns.
That's a different kind of gun. It's a gun that shoots shoes.
Yeah, very, very different gun.
But these are shoes that have guns that shoot. Yeah.
Now, here's the problem. That one makes me think that one's not happening because Nintendo's never going to do that. Secondly, like if Sony owned them, I could see it because Sony's starting to get a little friendly with PC releases, and they're doing some of that. Like the God of War one does not make me think that that's untrue. That seems possible because they just did it with 2 other games. I could see them doing it with this one. It's old now. It's old enough that its PlayStation run is done. High anticipation for a sequel. They did it with the Aloy game, and
they said there was plenty of news stories going around saying Sony wants to do more PC stuff, especially after the success of Horizon Zero Dawn on the PC.
Yeah. So if they own Bayonetta, I could see it. Nintendo, they never do that. So they could.
It's
they could.
crazy. It's such a double. I realize it's such a double standard now too, because Nintendo's exclusive. Got to get exclusive games. But I've been on their store. They have like all kinds of indie games on there and stuff. It's almost like I'm like, how did these low effort games get onto the high quality Nintendo store? Like,
oh,
you know what I mean?
They're happy
like,
to take every indie you put on there. They don't care.
Yeah, like there's like these like I'm like some cat who wants milk for $3 or something like that. Like I'm like, what is this Steam, shit on here? Like this is junk you find on the Steam like No Man's Land section of the store. You're just like, oh, there's these weird games on Steam. I'm
this is
this
true.
is on Switch. It makes my opinion of Switch as like a a high-end console device experience curated like out the window. I'm like, I don't respect the fact that they're exclusive now that they're hosting.
Well,
Such,
I mean, the exclusivity
you know,
comes from you're only going to get Mario and Link and the big titles that Nintendo makes. You're never going to get them anywhere but there. That's their bread and butter. But they've also said,
I guess what I find weird is I go to the store and what I get splashed at me is maybe their latest release and a bunch of other stuff like non-Nintendo stuff. Like I sort of expect that the launch page and the main push should be the Nintendo properties, but they really push non-Nintendo properties. I find the store, which probably makes sense, but it just seems it's clashes with my impression of the console. I feel like I'm in Nintendo's world. Miyamoto, like, oh, did I get his name right? I think I got it.
Miyamoto, you got
like. Entertain me with your wondrous wares. It's like turning on Disney Plus and watching Friends, which you can do now. I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, like it just like it's jarring, So and Nintendo, because I didn't have one for a long time. Oh, so I held in such a high esteem. We have all these Nintendo-y games, and I get there, I'm like, this is just a handheld Steam device. Like it's,
in some ways, yeah. Like the Dead Cells version, the Switch version of Dead Cells is one of my favorites. I really like it on there.
Sure, I'm sure they're great. It's not a knock on the games, or it's just the aesthetic. I wanted to go and think of it as a Nintendo machine, and I see like Steam on there, so I'm like, put Bayonetta on other stuff. Like, why are you acting all haughty?
Well, here's what I've learned from what Bo just said. Someone is going to make the game I'm a cat and I want milk, and they're gonna make a lot of money.
That game's on Steam. I didn't make that up. That's real. There's like it's called Meow or something like that.
Hold on, now I gotta find it. So there's a cat that wants milk, and
something like that.
But I'm telling you, it's like snakes on a plane. Heavily. The title needs to be "I'm a cat and I want milk."
Yeah, and I only have $3 or whatever that was. You see,
let me go get my Switch and look for it because
I'm curious now. You know what's a really good cat game, and it's on the Switch. There's two of them, 1 and 2.
Oh, I think I found it. Here it is. Hang on, I'll send it to you over Discord.
All right, what's this called? I'm excited about this moment we're having. Oh, there we go.
Cat milk.
Cat milk for Nintendo Switch. Holy shit, this is real. This is a real thing.
Look at this picture.
Look at this. One guy made it in Game Maker. It's a 33 megabyte download. Bernardo Game Studio.
Bernardo.
And I'm like, this is your high quality Switch game? Like, he took a photo off photo stock or whatever those photo places for his game cover. Used Google font for the text. Charging $12.99 for what amounts to, maybe a decent game. Definitely made in Game Maker. Although great games can be made in Game Maker. I'm just saying, when you're like, Nintendo Switch has elite properties only for family entertainment, and I go on and I find like someone's Steam Steamworks project on there. I'm like, you guys are.
I can't believe how close to the description it is that you gave. It's
literally cat and I want milk.
Yeah,
I really felt like I spent $400 for a console. It's gonna advertise .cat milk. Like,
oh yeah, .cat milk. Sorry, there's a period.
.cat milk.
So it was ESRB rated, which is kind of that means you're legit anyway. Like you submitted it for review. I don't know what to make of this. You're right though. That store is just jam packed with tiny stuff. It's weird.
Yeah. Anyways, it's fine, but put Bayonetta on others. Like it's a two-way street, buddy. You're gonna start selling cat milk on your store. You can start selling Bayonetta on my Steam store.
Yeah,
we'll all be a cool family.
I wish the Nintendo would reach out a little more. Like if you're gonna go ahead and re-release another, I don't know, Ocarina of Time again, just put it everywhere. Like just make all the money. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Man, can you imagine if Nintendo's library was available on Steam?
Oh my gosh, dude. All I need is Wind Waker, and I'm in. I'm all in. That's the only game I care about.
You want to talk about the most expensive video game purchase I would ever make is if they did that and then they sold like the Nintendo bundle.
Yeah.
And it was, okay, it's $1,500. You get every Nintendo game.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay.
And you justify it by saying, well, that's only like buying Star Trek Online like 3 times. I can do that.
Yeah, it's like just subscribing to a lifetime subscription. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the thing is it's a marketplace and a platform that's extremely successful, so every little game maker wants to put their game on there. And so it makes sense
it's fine.
to me.
Sorry, we sort of got distracted, but the Bayonetta thing really peeves me off.
I get where you're coming from. It's a weird thing.
I might buy it on Switch though. Like, I never finished Bayonetta. It's actually hard to play. I think it looks cool, but it's not that.
Well, it's just chaotic
it's a little
action stuff.
It's all right. I think I just never stuck with it, just because reasons.
Well, I'm glad we're all here because I know John is one of the ultimate mobile gamers among us. He loves the mobile gaming market.
That's me.
He does, man.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I know about John
Yeah.
is that he loves mobile games.
He loves them. He loves
Yeah,
especially.
the only problem is the wear and tear it does to my body physically to play those.
Right, your
mobile
thumbs
games for
in
so long.
particular, right? Like your thumbs really
Yeah,
take a
I
beating.
mean, look, it's nice glass they put on these phones, but if you're gonna go pro, you're gonna be tapping a lot, and you're gonna develop blisters, calluses. Also, my day-to-day life, I have to protect my digits.
Yeah, right.
Or else I can't game properly.
That's right. Think about it that way. Your thumbs aren't going to just start. They don't start and stop on the phone. They go and do other stuff. So,
yeah.
Hey, I got a product for you. It's called the Razer Gaming Finger Sleeves.
People are gonna think this is an ad.
It sounds fake.
The way we just set it up.
It sounds
they
fake
advertising
too. Don't you think it sounds
sleeves?
fake? Like it sounds like something somebody made up, but it's real.
Yeah.
This is happening.
And like in this article, there's like a comment about it that's positive because it says many FPS mobile players adore Razer gaming. You guys joke, but it's actually ideal for mobile gamers. In Japan, they have these touchscreen games where you move your fingers across rapidly, and without cotton gloves, you'll burn your fingerprints right off from pure friction.
Oh my
friction.
gosh.
And
Wow.
so, like, someone's like, finally, my fingers will be saved from the 18 hours I spend rubbing my thumb on a piece of glass.
I mean, it's funny.
Man.
I basically wear gloves that are more of a full hand thing. Actually, it's funny. The thumb and your pointer finger are the only two not covered. Do I have one here? No, it's upstairs.
I have one of those for art.
Yeah,
on your,
that's how you draw
tablet.
on your tablets. Yeah, so if you got a Wacom or an iPad or whatever you're drawing on, that makes your life a million times better. So I understand. I really, actually, truly understand if somebody's a big time mobile gamer, and these are not conductive. What's the word? The touch technology that phones use. These support that, so it doesn't block it.
Yeah.
What's it called? There's a word for it.
Support?
Not
Damn it.
haptic, is it?
No,
That's something
not
different,
haptic.
right?
Haptic is like feedback, like
feedback. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Tactile?
Not tactile. It's a word. Capacitive. That's it. Capacitive touch.
There it is.
Because capacitive touch requires your flesh normally, because you're literally making electrical contact with the screen. These support that. They, in theory, if you're way into it and you're playing competitive Warzone or whatever the hell the Call of Duty mobile is, that's really popular worldwide. Whatever it is, I could see these being okay. Are they worth $10, $10.99? Probably not. Go cut your own from some pair of gloves.
If they make your lady happy, it was in addition to being good for the game, maybe it's worth it.
Oh, wait, what? These would make. Oh, gross. So
you get two little sleeves. I mean, depending on how they. Anyways, moving on.
They make your lady happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough material for
For what?
For a senior for a boy or not a man.
For a man.
For a man.
Yeah, man.
But that's probably two little sleeves is probably enough. For an interesting time with.
It was very interesting
time with you and your lady partner.
You and yours, yeah. No, I feel you.
I don't know if this is a good idea because if you go in with a finger sleeve and you come out without one, you got a really embarrassing trip to the ER.
Yeah.
Well,
You're gonna make that stupid list.
If I get a pair of tweezers, get them out.
There you go.
All right.
Moving
Well,
on.
we got everything we could out of that topic. Thank God.
Yeah, thankfully.
We'll be back. I gotta buy a pair. I'll review them for the show.
Bo, it says here you played your console on your PC, but wasn't this already happening? This is just XCloud, right?
No. I was playing my No. Well, they made a big deal that it was launched, so I tried it yesterday. It's right in the Xbox app. It says console something or other.
Oh, I wonder if it's
It's the game. It's like I don't know if it's called XCloud, but it just like there was an article saying you can now. There's a beta test. I think it's in beta, but in the Xbox app on the PC, you can go to the console version of the Game Pass library.
Yeah.
And play your console games with the controller.
That's
and
cool.
It's streaming like GeForce Now, and it is rough.
Oh, is it rough? Not great.
Oh, it's rough. So it's not. It was a little laggy,
Yeah.
but the lag wasn't the worst part. Is that sometimes the draw is not good. Like it kind of does this thing where it stops and then it's like painting over, like you can see the interlacing going on. It wasn't a great experience for me.
Beta, but hopefully that improves. We'll see. I thought that was just straight up, because I can do that through a browser on any computer now. I can play my Xbox games that way.
Okay. Maybe I haven't tried it anywhere else. It was just new to me that it was on the PC. So
it must just be in the app now. That's the difference, I guess. It's just in the app.
Compared to GeForce, like GeForce experience is good. Like you said, beta, so maybe yes, okay, but the GeForce experience has been flawless for me.
100%. The I did that. You know, when I played with all those, I did the Amazon one for 7 days. I did Stadia for 7 days. I did all the trials, and then that included me messing around with some of the same games in or on XCloud and then on GeForce Now. And when I was done with all of that, GeForce Now is still the best latency of all of them. I don't know why. Even the freebie thing where you're not getting bells and whistles is still latency-wise the best of the bunch. So whatever Nvidia's doing, I hope that's better for everybody else, because everybody else had more lag than they did. And it may be like where the data centers are. I don't know, like in relation to me or something. I know people in California or on the West Coast have a way better connection to XCloud streaming and way less lag than I do, and it's because those servers are there. Maybe that stuff's being rolled out. I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works, but I want that to get better, because even a little lag is a bummer.
Yeah, you need a flawless experience.
Yeah. You know what's really good though, even if you got lag? Gears Tactics is fantastic regardless of lag, because it's turn-based. It's like playing XCloud or XCOM. So you don't really have to worry about, milliseconds in that game. It's just sort of, you're moving your dudes, you tell them to do a thing, and they go and do it, and you're on to the next turn. All right. Finally, IKEA is making gamer furniture with ROG. Did they go by ROG or ROG? I don't know how you say that.
Republic of Gamers.
Yeah.
Oh, is it I know what you're asking.
Yeah. I just, whenever you say them short, because that's how everyone writes it, I never know how to say it. But anyway.
It seemed to be ROG, but I'm sometimes old, and people like to say things that I think is an acronym, and therefore you should say all the letters.
There you go. But look at this. They're doing the whole schmear. They're doing desks, neck pillows, ring lights, chairs, more stuff than that even. They're going all in, and it'll be cheap.
Yeah. Good.
So that link didn't show what some of the. It doesn't really show.
No,
it's doing stuff, but
thing.
It's coming in October, but they don't really show the products off really.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. They show a screen, like a fake CG thing, or what your room might look like, and then a bunch of stuff in it, but they haven't shown it off yet. I hope it's all called the Borka, and
I'm okay with the idea of quote unquote gamer products being cheaper, because right now it tends to be the other way. If they put gamer in front of it, it's more expensive.
Yep, I agree.
They know they can get you with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. The fact that they're doing this, I guess I didn't know Asus owned ROG, or Republic of Gamers. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Anyway, they're going to work together. That means hopefully the designs are good. And if the IKEA is anything to rely on, it's that they make stuff really affordable and easy to assemble and all that. So maybe that'll all be true too. And I don't know. It feels like I could use a little more mainstream in my game gear. That's cool.
Yeah.
Not game gear from Sega, but you know what I mean.
Gaming gear.
Yeah. Do you guys have it? I had a Game Gear. Anyone else have a Game Gear?
I had a Game Gear.
Yeah.
Man, I had an Atari Lynx.
I think I had a Game Gear too, actually.
Did you? Nice. Did you get more than 3 minutes of battery life, or was that just me? Because
I don't think so.
You could hear it gulping down those batteries.
I remember playing my Game Gear in a closet next to a outlet so that I could have the ideal Game Gear experience.
You were a closeted Game Gear player, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's like, this is just where you have to play this to make it work.
I had a Lynx as well. That thing was all right for what it was for the moment that it was in.
It was okay, but you know what really bummed me out was when I bought it, they were like, hey, you get a free Batman Returns game with your purchase of the Atari Lynx. Just fill this card out and mail it, and then we'll mail you a copy of Batman Returns for the Atari Lynx. And I was like, sweet, I can't wait. And so that was the game I was most excited about. And I was done with my Atari Lynx before Batman showed up. It took a really long time for that game to get here.
That's funny.
I had to dig out the Atari Lynx and go, okay, dust it off. My copy of Batman's here. And then on top of it, it was not a good game. So it was a long wait and a lot of effort for not a lot of payoff.
Yeah. Well, the That's a great story to have, though. You know.
Yeah.
It'll be one of those. Well, at least you didn't pay for it. That's the thing. Well, I guess you did with the links. You paid for the links, but.
Well, my parents did.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was a child. Yeah. I just gave them the sad eyes and.
You paid for the links. You stayed for Batman Begins or Returns. All right. Well, that's all the news worth reporting today. However, we'd like to take a little rest here. Go back in history to the 1800s or so and read a Dear Martha Steam review. That's right. This time for Kingdoms of Amalur. We got 3 of these. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It'll make sense when we get into it.
All right. Fantastic. Let's get those now. Here we go. Now.
My dearest Martha, I present to you now a review for Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. I've waited 8 years. I still can't rebind keys. Yours in this life and the next, Westerlin.
He's not wrong, by the way. I tried this very thing, and he's not wrong. All right, here comes number 2. Here you go.
My dearest Martha, I present to you now a review for Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. Martha, I'm writing this review because some other bleeper left a one-line negative review that says something like, waited 8 years and still can't change keybinds, and got lots of likes and awards on his uncommentable review. Well, the fact is, you can change your keybinds in this game, and I'm pretty sure you could do it in the old game too. It's in this really mysterious and hidden location in the options menu called Controls. I know, this is really complicated stuff for some people. Yeah. Yours in this life and the next, Iceman.
Oh, Iceman. All right. Very nice. Yeah, I like Iceman. All right, now for the grand finale, number 3.
My dearest Martha, I present to you a small update from my review of Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning. Update. Martha, beware that as of right now, mouse button binding doesn't work. Yours in this life and the next, Iceman.
Oh, I thought we were going to hear from the original guy, and it was the second guy. Wow.
I thought we were going to have a little review war.
That's amazing. You went and found stuff. That's great. Found a little story going there.
There's a little narrative hidden in the reviews there.
I like that a lot. I feel dumb because I didn't think any of them were assignable. I was with the first guy.
You know what, Scott? After reading it,
that's what happened to me. It did. I'll launch it tomorrow and see, but I swear you couldn't change that shit.
I read these reviews. I read the replies to the reviews. Scott, I can't tell you if you can or not. Some people say you can. Some people say you can't. Yeah. Some people said I did it. Some people said I just tried it and it doesn't work. Yeah. Some people said it's only the mouse that doesn't work. Some people said, no, the mouse works fine. You're all idiots.
Oh, wow.
We live in the misinformation
era. Yeah, it is the misinformation era. You're right. Oh, I hate it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, because I was about to say, it was funny how, you read the first one. And Scott's like, that's me. That's me.
Yeah, it's totally me.
It's so true. It's so true. And then the next one was idiot.
Yeah. I feel like that second guy.
I could have just not opened my mouth.
I feel like that second guy was coming after me. I don't know. I felt a real kinship with reviewer number 1, but
it's in the options menu under controls.
Under controls, really obscure.
I don't even know if they're right or not. That's the thing. I can't tell which one's right.
I can't tell if anything's real anymore. That's the way the internet works now. I've lost all sense of, unless I see it happen in front of me, I don't know anymore. The internet's ruined me. All right.
I'm sorry, Scott.
That's okay. It's okay because now we get to talk about games. The games we played this week. So, I got Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous. Okay, and it's very good. Okay, really good actually. I think the Pathfinder rules are pretty cool. If I could equate them to anything, they remind me of old D&D, like back when I played it way before we're playing it now, like 3 point something maybe. Is what it feels like to me rules wise. That's basically the Pathfinder system, but it's a little more complicated than 5th edition D&D kind of rules. But this is a computer RPG in the vein of Baldur's Gate and more recently the Pillars of Eternity stuff and those kinds of games. It's top down, 3/4 view. I know Bo played some too, so we're gonna talk about this more when we get to you, I think. But it did a weird thing to me. Because I really like Pathfinder a lot, but it got me going, why did I bounce off Celeste so fast? I couldn't remember why. And
there's a bit of a hype train going on with
there was that, but also I think part of it was it's kind of ugly. Like the characters are really weird and stiff, and small team, so whatever, you're going to get what you're going to get, but it uses basically the open sourced version of 5e rules. And I remember liking so much about it, but I'm like, why did I fall off of that thing? So I put Pathfinder on pause, which I'm enjoying the hell out of. I'm having a great time with it. Brand new on Steam this week or last week. And paused it and thought, well, let me just jump back into Celeste. It's still over there on Game Pass, so no harm in relaunching it. Started a whole new campaign, created new characters. And then I was reminded why that game is so cool, man. Like Celeste, yes, it's missing some of the polish you might think you want from a game like that after playing things like, Divinity Original Sin 2 and that sort of stuff. For sure. But like environmentally, graphically, and all that stuff is fine. That game looks great. It's really just the character interactions. They're just a little bit stiff. The beards are weird. Like there's weird voice stuff. It's just, it's a small French team doing the best they can. But it is the most D&D ass thing I think maybe I've ever played that isn't actual Dungeons and Dragons. It's all about the dice, and it's all about your.
So it is actually D&D because it's based on the open SRD rules is D&D. It's just the copyright free portion of it.
Right.
So it actually is D&D. They just can't call it that.
Yeah, they just can't use the names and stuff, which is. I mean, I guess I understand it's a licensing thing, but it's very true to that. And I'd forgotten how cool their interface is. I think it may be the best of these. It's so good. It's so intuitive and quick to get into and easy to understand where your cantrips are and where your prep spells are and what you want to be doing when you're taking a long rest. And like just the mechanics are very true to D&D, but so simply presented. And at first you might be like, oh, this looks like a space game almost. This UI, this UX is not, it doesn't have a bunch of frilly, it's fantasy art and everything. It's a lot of like a box and a second box and simple like iconography and stuff. Not ugly, not bad, but just simple. More like something you'd see in a sci-fi game. But once you get your head around it and realize what they've done, it's some of the most clean UX experience I've had in a game ever. It's so good. So I guess what I'm saying is I played a bunch of Celeste. That game's great. It's really cool. And they also they put in a mode, not a mode, but an update where it's currently in beta, but you can like Neverwinter Night style, make your own scenarios, make your own dungeons, make your own everything.
Nice.
It's very cool. I played around with that a bunch, played some community ones that are already out, tried to make my own, totally screwed up, but it's fine because I didn't know all the tools. But it doesn't seem too complicated. Get my head around it. That's I feel like that's what they're aiming for. They're trying to kind of recreate that era of BioWare style stuff, and I am here for it. I think that is great. They're also putting in druids and barbarians in the next update, next character update. Those currently aren't in the game. So it seems like they have plans to keep adding to it. I just really had a good time in there, and then it made me go, well, shit, I didn't mean to leave. I didn't mean to bounce off of Pathfinder for this in any sort of permanent way. And I do plan to get right back to Pathfinder because I'm really enjoying that story and what I'm playing in that game so far. But anyway, just had kind of one of those moments this week with a game where you're like, sometimes you got to get past whatever it is that's bugging you. It's like, oh, their faces are weird. And that's enough for me to bounce to something else. But then later I get back to it, I'm like, oh, right. But underneath just that one dumb thing is this really cool system and really fun game that just feels great to play. And I feel a little XCOM in it and a little bit of, I don't know, it's just got a cool loop when the fights go.
Would you say Celeste is the superior thing? Because I want to return Pathfinder and maybe buy Celeste.
I mean, to say it's superior, boy, that's a great question, Bo. It's a little like this. You know how, sorry to bring this up, but you know how I have some complaints about Lawnmower Simulator on the PC. Because that game is got
it's time we got back to Lawnmower Simulator.
It's a little up its own butt sometimes about what should happen instead of what's fun. John and I, you kind of had this conversation about House Flipper. There's like, you could have gone really wrong with some stuff in House Flipper. Instead, you've made most of the mechanics fun to do when you do them.
Right.
And they could have leaned into, well, it's more realistic if the paint drips and then you got to clean that up later. Well, yeah, but that's not fun. Like, I want fun in my games, even if they're games that are meant to be more simmy. And to me, this is where Celeste shines, and maybe Pathfinder and other games like it don't quite add up, because yes, there's a more polished veneer on Pathfinder or on Wrath of the Righteous, certainly. Same with Kingmaker, the one before it. It's a very pretty game, and it makes you feel like Baldur's Gate level time kind of gameplay, and like all that stuff feels like those kind of games, and it's great. I love that stuff. But it's like a little up its own butt in that it's just so adherent to every little thing, and it's like they forget about, well, let's stick to the stuff that's fun. And the fun stuff is in the mechanics of the game. And I think Celeste is probably a funner game. It's more fun. There, I said it. Celeste is a better game.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it, and I was like, I see what you mean about Celeste. Maybe graphically looking a little weird, and some UI elements looking kind of plain. But my impression, Pathfinder really ticked me off.
Well, what did it do that made I'm enjoing it? But what
character,
pissed you off?
by the way, I shared my character. I used my own pictures for my character. You'll see that my character creator in there.
Yeah.
I'm a cat man who transforms into Bo.
All right.
But no, the character creation was fun. I understand the rule set, interesting. The writing is so awful. So look, I would go to the fair. It starts at the fair. And then there's a lady who's like, I'm a dragon. And I'm like, really? You're a dragon? She's like, don't make me turn. You want me to turn to a dragon and eat you? And I'm like, okay. Then you hang around the fair, and the demon locust lord, Bugman, shows up, kills the dragon, and makes a big hole. And then you fall in. Exciting. Loving it so far.
It all looked cool.
Then,
all that stuff.
Then the first two NPCs, I just fall in a hole. I'm like, oh shit, I got to get out of here. And the first NPC is like, oh, my name is such and so. I'm from the order of this and from the land of this. And here's the explanation. The land of Canabras has hills and wonderful things. My friend here is stuck under a thing. She is from a land of blah, blah. I'm like, there's a hole in the floor. I want to go. Like, and then she's like, oh, we better hurry and go. So to summarize, blah, 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 blah. Can you help me? It's like there was so much exposition, and I just fallen down a hole after an entire city had been eaten by locust people, and she was just talking, and then she was like, "We shouldn't sit and chat. We need to go." And I was like, bah! and then the next NPC was like the same thing. Hello, it's like, are we not in a hurry? What's up with all the exciting music? And it really like broke the fantasy for me too much, because the game I think was enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I was so pissed off at like all the exposition. I don't know if you had the same reaction. That's, I guess, why I'm asking you.
I didn't mind it. I got far enough in it where I did a long dungeon underground thing, like in some ancient corridor stuff, and really liked it because they were really hitting the tone I like. I liked just the feeling down there, and I burned a bunch of time just doing that, looting and killing and being strategic. And the game. Oh, one thing I like about it, those Pillars of Eternity games don't let you. Well, they do with a patch later. They let you do turn-based versus kind of the old Baldur's Gate sort of. They just fight. You can pause it and reassign actions, and they unpause it and that sort of thing. That game has both, but the way you do it in Pillars is when you start the game, you choose which method,
right?
Turn or the other, and you're stuck with whatever you chose. That's it for that run. In this game, you can do it anytime, anywhere, and change your mind, which I found really great, because there's some fights where I was like, I want to do every single move of this fight right now in turn-based order. Let's do initiative. Let's do the whole thing. And I can change that mid-fight if I want.
You can change it mid-fight. Yeah, it's just cool.
I really like that stuff. That stuff's really cool. They even give you the option. So I don't know why I brought that part up to address your question or your point, because I think your point's valid. The game, like I say, the game's kind of up its own butt, and it thinks its voice acting's really good, but it's not.
Yeah.
It thinks it is, though. And it's not. Like, go play Pillars or Pillars 2, and you'll hear some of the best voice acting in a CRPG you've ever heard.
Yeah.
In this, you're not going to hear that. Now, in Celeste, they're not winning Oscars either, but they don't pretend like they are. In other words, it's kind of fun banter. If you stop being so hoity-toity about the fact that they're a little plasticky looking up close, and it's, not the best graphics you've ever seen of these characters. Once you get past that, you realize, oh man, isn't it fun that when we walk into a room and we see a bad guy, immediately a ton of initiative dice roll, actual D20s roll all over the screen.
Yeah.
There's something about the dice and seeing the dice and knowing the dice had an effect that's making Celeste the more compelling experience.
I'm going to try and return Pathfinder and get Celeste.
And here's the thing with Celeste. It's on Game Pass PC, so you can just go play it and not worry about paying for it first. What? Basically full demo of a full game before you ever have to decide, Bo. So I say I
didn't know it was on Game Pass. That makes me so happy.
It's totally on Game Pass.
I didn't know how I was going to pay for it, but you had talked me into it.
It's a day one Game Pass thing, and I think the co-op in there sounds like a blast. We should try it sometime.
Oh my gosh, this makes me happy.
And they're doing updates. They are really, I think so. Am I wrong about that?
Ooh.
I think so. I may be confusing it with something else, but maybe it's local co-op. I can't remember now. There was some kind of co-op-y thing going there. What was I going to say? Oh, the other thing. They're this small developer, and in some ways that shows, but again, for the most part, like, environments look great. They look insane. The team is super active, like just constantly talking to their base, going, all right, here's what we're doing next, and we're having you help us decide which of the next subclasses are coming in, and so submit all your ideas, and then, okay, we use Joe and Joe's idea for this and this and this, and we put it together, and here's our barbarian coming soon, and like, they're just really, really out there, and the Reddit page is active, and I don't know. I feel like I want to support that too. That's part of why I want to kind of hang about. So anyway, that's my take on Celeste. It's been out there for a while. People already knew this. It's got, huge reviews on Steam. People really love it already, and it is on Game Pass. It was out day one, I guess, on Game Pass when it launched. And you guys should both play it. It's cool.
I probably didn't need to download it while I'm streaming video to you, but
you're totally fine.
That's what I'm doing now.
That's all upload.
Are you downloading it on your Xbox thing?
No, well, it's not console. I should say that it's only on.
That's what I mean.
It's only
Game
PC.
Pass, PC Game Pass.
Yeah. It's very cool. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Don't be like me and get hung up in these characters. Who cares? Like, at the end of the day, you don't see their faces that often anyway because they're way down in the dirt. And think about, how Diablo, when you get too close to those characters, Diablo 3, you're like, ugh, they're starting to look crusty and like low rent looking. It's kind of like that problem. It's not a big deal. It doesn't change how much you love the game. And the D&D-ness of it is just so good. Plus, it's all the dice rolling without having to do any of your own math. Like, just let it roll, and the extra dice and the hit point dice and all the stuff just does the shit that it's supposed to do, but it does it in front of you. So the little D4s go over here while your big D20 went. Oh, you hit a natural 20? Sweet, you're going to take that guy on one shot. And the lady behind you is going to miss because she rolled terrible, and it's great. It's great. Firebolts all day. All right, moving on.
You know what I just realized looking at your game list before you move on to the next one?
Yeah.
You played 2 games. I had no idea that this was the case. You played 2 games that I was this close to having be the Dear Martha review for this episode.
Oh, really? Weird.
Pathfinder, I was going to do a dueling review because I found 2 reviews that were very against each other, kind of like what we ended up doing with Kingdoms of Amalur, all about the story of that game, and I thought that would be funny, and I almost did it for the next game you're going to talk about. That was also on the list for getting a review.
Well, let me tell you about that game then, and you might want to do a review of this one day because it's got some weird issues, but I'm playing a game called everyone hold on to something. Gas Station Simulator. Okay? Excuse me. Gas Station Simulator.
Is that it? Was that the simulation?
The burp is the review. Yeah, that's my full review. The game is what you think it is. It's one of these that I like. These things where you go and you do, work a day business, chore core game of some sort or another. This one just came out. It's got a little bit more tongue in its cheek in terms of presentation and or kind of overarching story. Part of me thinks John would hate it because it's set in somewhere way out in the desert. In the far off distance, you can see a city. It's like Vegas or something. It's nondescript. They don't tell you what it is. But you're way out in the dirty old desert. And it's a gas station and gas station area, like parking lot and some other buildings that have been abandoned. And it's all for sale. and you're driving through there in your car and you see it for sale and you pull over and you buy it, and that's how it starts. And it's this first-person game, and you run around in this game and you do gas station shit. When you open the place, you hit a button that turns on the open sign. During the day-night cycle, you can keep it open 24 hours a day if you want. People pull in, you get notified that they're out by the gas thing, you go fill their gas. There's a little mini game of putting the gas in, making sure you hit the needle right on the thing. You get a bigger tip that way. They take off.
Not in Arizona, because you pump your own gas here. So.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think you do kind of anywhere. And these are Europeans who made this. They clearly have a thing for the U.S. West, but they also, it's not dollars. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not gallons. It's liters and like stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, just like here.
Just like here, yeah. So
yeah, they maybe didn't fully understand all the ways that it works.
Well, plus I think
there are places though that they pump your gas for you. Like, isn't Seattle like that?
Yeah, there are some that still do it. There's some that you got to pay before you do. There's others that don't. Like, it's kind of all over the place. But this is more old timey, and the place is old timey. It's a beat up old piece of shit, and you got to go in there and kind of clean it up. So there's other mini games to start off, like clean up all the trash that's everywhere, clean the floors, do all this sort of thing. It's good. The mechanics are good. It's that fun OCD kind of circle of events that you do. When you open, you do all the stuff. You close, clean up some stuff, and take care of some things, order new gas. The best thing about that is the guy that brings the big truck out full of gas and refills all your tanks looks like Elon Musk. And I mean dead on looks like Elon Musk.
They just took him.
To the point that I think they just straight up lifted his face and used it. I really do think that. But he comes and he fills your gas, and then, you know, you got to go turn these cranks to get the gas full, and then he leaves, and then you got customers, and eventually they'll be able to come into the store, buy things in the store, and I can like scan them and charge them and, you know, do stuff there that you pay for upgrades. There's a whole separate garage outside where you can do other things. I don't know what those are yet because I haven't cleared all that out. There's an electrical station that you can do more in. So it's just this big, like, insane thing. You bought it, now you're going to make it awesome again. Totally up my alley. I love this kind of crap. So here's the problem. It runs fine. No glitches, no bugs of any major sort that I could see. But boy, do I hate this when a tutorial can break a game. And here's what happened. It got to the part where it was like, we're going to teach you how you freaking sweep the inside of your store. So what we need you to do, before that it says, here's how you use the garbage bag to go pick up all the trash. And it says, first go to the computer, go to the screen for garbage bag, and these little indicators tell you where to go. You go in there, and it's either mouse or keyboard or controller, doesn't matter, same interface. You go in there and you buy the garbage bag. Well, the problem is the interface is not clear about which of the tools it's highlighting when you're highlighting it. It's kind of hard to tell. It's a very subtle, like, shade difference. And so I thought I was on bag, but I was on broom. And broom says locked, so I shouldn't be able to buy it anyway. But I bought it, and it says, you bought a broom. I'm like, well, shit. I don't need a broom. I need the bag. Went back in, went, oh, okay, it's lightly colored. All right, I got the bag. Went, did all the bag shit. Then it says, all right, now you need to go buy a broom. And I said, well, I got a broom. So then I thought, well, I'll just start sweeping this floor. And it worked, but it kept not counting it. Like, it didn't count toward anything. And I went, well, wait, can I even buy the broom? And then I went back to the store, and it says, buy a broom. And it has the highlighter on where to buy it. But it says sold out because I already bought the damn broom. And then
you broke the tutorial.
And then I got pissed, and I hit A accidentally on the paintbrush, the paint roller, and bought that too early, even though it said locked. So it's one of these things where they've got bugs and problems. I'm sure a patch is coming, and it'll be fine. And I will definitely play more of this game because
do they have like seedy shit going on in the toilet of the gas station?
I haven't been able to get in the bathroom yet. There's a chain there, and I think that's a second level unlock or something.
Wow! Oh no!
I couldn't.
About this gas station, I can't get into the bathroom. That's a bad sign.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it from the outside. I took down all these boards that were boarding everything up, and there's stuff in there. But you know, I already painted some outdoor stuff, and I'm not even supposed to be able to paint yet. Like, it's just the tutorial's broken. And
so it does simulate the running of the gas station at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like NPCs come, ask for gas. You're like, that'll be 20.
Oh yeah. And I did a bunch of that already, where they came, they got their gas, I filled it for them, they said thanks, got in their car and drove off, and it's cops.
Can you get robbed in this game? Like, do people
eventually? Yes.
Drive up?
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Oh yeah, you can get stuck up. You have
it's a simulator, Bo. What the hell?
Yeah.
Does the guy ever come up and go, What's the most you ever lost in a coin toss?
Get some kind of weird looking cow
awesome.
killer tank thing in his hand. Yeah, none of that as far as I know. But like there was a rattlesnake that came through the store the other day, and you want to not have that happen when people are there. And
No,
Yeah.
not traditionally, no.
it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is what I like. And they've made the game parts of it gamey and fun and easy, and not super complicated or over simmy. And I appreciate it for that. I think it looks really nice. Like graphically, it looks really great. They just need to patch some of that. I mean, I'm gonna have to start over or wait for a patch because I'm stuck right now. And stupid mob, dude. Gosh dang it. All right. Yeah, there's like a Slurpee machine type thing. Baylel in the chat. That's exactly what you can do. You can unlock all kinds of stuff you'd think of in a place like that. It's cool. Yeah, I like that kind of shit. So I'm in. I'm gonna play that for a while. WarioWare. For the Switch, the new WarioWare, what's it called? Oh shit, I forgot the full name.
I'm a Wario. I'm gonna win.
Hold on.
I'm excited to hear how this is because I love WarioWare.
WarioWare, get it together. There we go. It's great. I'm very early. This was a gift from one of my kids. Delayed birthday gift. They wanted to wait till a game came out on the Switch and then bought it for me. It was nice. It's if you love WarioWare games, I think this is an incredible return to form for that series.
I've never played a WarioWare game.
Oh, they're so good, Bo. And they're so weird. And that's where I love this new one. The new one is weird as shit. But it also how do I explain this? So John, you've played them, so you kind of know what's up. Usually it's like, oh, here's a screen, you got to kind of figure out what to do and do it real quick, and then once you do, okay, cool, now it's just a matter of doing it faster or whatever. This is a little different. There's character selection, and it depends on what level you're on and who you've unlocked, but they all behave differently, and they all move differently, Wario included, and you put them in these worlds. And those worlds, or those one-screen things, are still super weird. Like, here's a giant finger, and you got to figure out where it goes up the nose or whatever. But now you got Wario floating around in there, and he has to be a part of it somehow. So he's got to like push the finger up in there and figure out how to do it. And when I first heard that, I went, no, don't play with the formula. Just do weird mini games.
yeah. I'm at that part of the journey.
And
with
I knew
you.
you'd feel that way the second you heard this. It works though. I don't know how, but it's actually better. And
oh my God.
Yeah, it's great. So far, I'm not super. I'm like 4 worlds in or something. All the old characters are back. It's great. I love this game.
I'm watching an IGN review of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is
weird, right?
I gotta share this picture with you of it. Hang on, it's going to the Discord. There's like a guy with his tongue out, licking an ice cream that looks like it's the thickest, dongiest tongue I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and he's going whole hog on this ice cream, like
yeah, that's exactly right. And a lot of the art is like, oh, it's a photo of a hand, or it's a weird bad like art in MS Paint or something, or different styles, like the old games. John, you know what I'm talking about, like that.
Oh
really
yeah.
odd
Sometimes it's like what makes WarioWare so amazing is sometimes it's very nice art, sometimes it looks like it's off a message board art. Like it's all over the place. You get seconds to decide and figure out what it is you need to do, and I think that's cool. I'm gonna have to try it to get on board with this picking characters business because I have concerns. I believe you that it's possible.
Yeah, but
I have concerns.
Because here's how I'll explain it. Do you know how a game would start normally, and you'd be like, "Oh, I need to lift." Like they just showed one, and I just showed it to the chat. I need to lift these headphones off this character before the timer runs out. And at first you're like, what am I doing? Oh, those headphones move. Okay. And in the old way, you'd be some kind of little thing, right? A little character creature or some kind of something in that world that pushed these headphones off. Well, now you're just one of these characters that are in there. And some of them are going to get those headphones off easier than others. But for the most part, you're using characters that are perfectly suited for the minigame you're in. And it just fits the story better and doesn't change the gameplay at all. Like the still that sense of, oh shit, that's what I have to do. Okay, oh, barely made it. That's still 100% the game. I think you'd really like it.
I guess a part of it too is WarioWare. A lot of what I associate with it was, on like the 3DS where you had a stylus and stuff like that. And without a stylus to go off of, yeah, you need a different way to interface with that world. Because early WarioWare games were just like, well, you press A or you press up or down and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, I think maybe this does make sense in a world where you're not using a stylus for things and all of that. So,
Oh, right. This is, I guess now that you say that, it's the first time without motion controls or stylus as your primary way of playing.
Oh, these
yeah.
characters look cool, man. Dr. Krygor.
Oh, they're great, dude. They're
Oh
great.
yeah, and I imagine Ashley, the witch, is back,
Yep.
who should be very popular these days, seeing as that Agatha All Along song basically is a complete ripoff of her theme.
100%. She's definitely in there. And you can, after a while, you can choose like your crew you want to take out. You're like, well, I like how this guy shoots a weird ring from his head, but he doesn't move otherwise. And I like how Wario can float around on a jetpack. And I like how this guy does this other thing. And then you go use them for the stuff. Right now I'm showing a part that's from a bunch of Mario games or old Nintendo games.
Oh yeah, because there was always a character that they were the gamer, and so
Right.
all the mini games relating to them were all references to video games.
Yeah.
Like I remember in the first WarioWare, you had to basically beat Metroid. Like
Right.
you'd fight Mother Brain in a couple seconds,
Yep.
and
Yeah, same thing here. It's going on.
Is this an $80 title? Like this is a mainline title kind of thing?
I want to say this was not the normal 59 here, but 49 or something, 10 off of that. I want to say it's not quite full, but it's my kids are playing multiplayer right now, but there's a pretty thick campaign in this. The multiplayer is just like a really fun way to do mini games, and it's actually pretty good. They've all been playing it. But I've just been playing the campaign. Like I say, I'm only 4 worlds into it, so I can't speak too much to the length. But
I'm watching all the games and like I've turned the audio off and listening to you talk. There's one where there's like it's split screen 4 ways and there's like a leg with hairs on it, and then the players have to pull the hairs out of the leg.
Yeah, weird, right?
What is this game? Like,
yeah, it's very weird.
WarioWare.
Yeah, what you're describing is exactly right, and
this is like my first exposure to WarioWare. I feel like I'm on the Tor network or something.
And Wario's such an idiot. I just love the writing in it. Oh, there's Captain, what's his name?
Captain Toad.
Captain Toad, yeah, doing his thing. But it's just the series has always been this rare mix of like, I'll see, like that guy just shot the headphones off, or the girl floated up and did it, like changed that mini game quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. There's like this variety that gets injected without you kind of knowing that it's being done to you. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird and great. Really like it. Reviews are strong. People think this is like, WarioWare is back, baby, kind of thing. I think I agree. I think it's very
and multiplayer has always been really good and different in this. Like that's the other thing is this is a game that is just as strong single player as it is multiplayer,
Right.
which is not often that you find a game that pulls that off.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I love WarioWare. It's so weird. It's so bizarre. It's a thing that feels like it shouldn't work, and it works excellent every time.
Yeah, it's a very odd thing, and it's no wonder a million people tried to copy it, and there's a lot of games that are sort of like it. The boss battles are a much longer affair. Not huge long, but like you can see here, this is basically a level of Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario World level.
Yeah.
But it's done with this floating robot.
He's so happy.
He's stoked, yeah. So there's cool boss levels, and just I don't know. I like the humor of it, and Mario's a dick, and it's great. All right, that's what I played. John, you beat Final Fantasy 3 already? That's only a week.
Let's talk the Final Fantasy hour, but I assure you all I played other things this time.
All right.
So it's not going to just be Final Fantasy. But yes, I beat Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah. Last week you just beat 2, right? You beat 2 last week and now 3. That's amazing. Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just play every day or frequently, couple hours, you'll get through them. So final review for Final Fantasy 3. I really liked it. So far of the 3 that I've played, it was my favorite. Mechanically, it was really, really good. Story was okay. But I had a fantastic time with it. It also felt like the most balanced Final Fantasy because it was kind of consistently difficult, but not in an unfair way like how 2 felt. So I had a great time with it. It was amazing, and I've started Final Fantasy IV, which was the first in the Super Nintendo generation of Final Fantasy titles. And it feels like it has immediately traded the things that 3 wasn't good at and was good at and just swapped them.
Oh.
So Final Fantasy IV is a lot more story based. Not a lot I can say about the story of 3. It's like, you're heroes, go be heroes. 4 is where it kind of starts to put on its big boy pants and go, we're going to do stories that are a little more interesting than what you might expect. You play a character that's basically working for the bad guys at the beginning, and you're dealing with doing some pretty seedy business and calling into question your morality as to why you would be doing that stuff. And mechanically, it's definitely simplified. You're not picking jobs anymore. Jobs are basically assigned to you. You're just going to do what you're going to do. And you get spells as you level up, so there's no more going to shops and trying to buy, which spells do I want to buy, stuff like that. So it's a little more simplified on the system side, but it is definitely bigger on the story side. So right now, the video we're showing isn't the Pixel remaster, but that is what I'm playing. So I'm playing the PC Pixel remaster of the game. It looks really good. It doesn't look like this, but it looks really, really good. And I'm really having a good time with it. I've only spent about almost 2 hours in there, and playing it on Steam, the Steam version. And I'm gonna keep at it. But yeah, having a good time. Yep, this is it.
There we go.
Here it is.
Yep. This is your Pixel
This
remaster.
is what I played.
Very up-res. Yeah.
It looks good. I mean, again, it looks like it's from its era, and you would go, yeah, that's what this old game looked like. But then you go and you look at what it actually looked like, and you go, oh, they did work to this. Amazing.
Yeah.
So it's really good. And I'm going to be playing more of that, so I'll have more to say as I play a bit.
Which game has the 3DS game that's like 3Dified and looks all pretty and stuff? What was that? 3?
They made a 3DS version of 3 and 4.
And 4. So in theory, this fourth one exists in that form somewhere.
Yep, you can actually on Steam you can get Final Fantasy IV 3D remake.
I kind of want to play that for some odd reason. Why do I want to do that?
Here's what I will tell you. So one thing I've heard is the 3D remake of 4 is one of the hardest Final Fantasy games ever made. I don't know if that's true, but because I've been playing so much, I'm in some sort of system now, and I get recommended a bunch of Final Fantasy stories when I get on the internet. But honestly, I think the Pixel remasters play better. I went back and played some of the 3D remake, and if you're using it on your handheld, I think that's one thing. If you're sitting at the computer playing it, I think the Pixel remaster is a better experience. It moves faster, it moves smoother, there's a better flow to it, there's a lack of like jankiness, like everything feels polished and complete, whereas when you play the 3D ones, you look at it and you go, ugh, these are a little muddy, because I mean you're looking at an up-res 3DS game essentially.
Yeah.
And it's a little rough. I don't know how much that carries over for 4 because I haven't looked at it, but the Pixel remasters play really well. They control and move well. They have auto battle, which is really, really useful for these games. And I highly recommend the Pixel remasters so far.
Okay. Nice. And now you're on to, well, you said you're on to 4. And then, of course, after that, the world's your oyster, John. You're going to play them all.
Yeah. 5 and 6 aren't out yet. So when we finish 4, and it will probably happen, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe play some other games for a little bit until 5 and 6 come out. But I'm having a good time with it. I'm also playing Final Fantasy XIV still on a regular basis. It's actually where most of my gaming time is going. And not a lot new to say there, except I got my car.
Oh, nice.
So the
you got
event
that
where you can get the car from 15 is out, and it's happening, and I got it.
Okay. A bunch of people on Twitter asked me today, do you know if John got the car? Now we know he got the car.
Yeah,
Good
I got the car. I've gotten a lot of questions about it too, so I'll just say this, because for some reason, people know it's a limited thing. It's a very cool-looking limited thing, and as a result, a lot of people are very excited about it. So to answer the question I have gotten multiple times from multiple people since the car came out, how do you get the car? You go to Ul'dah, you do the quest, and then once you're done with the quest, you have to have 200,000 Manderville coins from the casino.
Yeah.
And then you buy the car. But here's the thing. You do have to be level 50 at least, and you have to have completed the main A Realm Reborn story, not the patches.
Oh.
But you cannot get the quest unless that's done. So
Okay.
it goes until October sometime. So there's enough time where if you really cared about it, you could get in there and do it, but you would be pushing it. Like there's a lot to do in order to get that car. It's not something you can just go last minute and say, I think I'd like that. It does take some grinding and some work if you haven't been playing the game regularly on top of it.
Nice.
But the quest itself was really cool. It ties in very heavily to Final Fantasy 15, a Final Fantasy game I have played 0 of. But it did have some really neat moments where, I knew I was interacting with the protagonist of another Final Fantasy, and that character and my character were sitting down and having a little talk by the fire and talking about what it's like being a hero and being an adventurer and all of that. And it was a cool quest. It was really well done, and you got to do some cool fights, and I had a good time with it. So it's worth getting the car if you can.
You'll end up playing 15 at some point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I have them. I went and did the math. I was like, do I have every Final Fantasy on my computer? And I checked, and I do.
Yeah.
So it's not even a case of I have to wait for Game Pass or anything like that. Yeah, there's the guy. He's up on the screen. That's the guy I hung out with.
Yeah, these are odd. I played a big chunk of the first part of 15. It is a very weird game. Like, not in a bad way, just a weird... I meant to get back to it and didn't. It was on Game Pass. Now it's not there, but I was going to keep going and I didn't. But it's a very pretty game, but it's weird. Very weird.
It's odd. I like it. I mean, the idea of a road trip through a fantasy universe, I think, is an extremely cool one that I love.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. So that's the Final Fantasy stuff.
Nice.
There, I think I covered
Final
it
Fantasy
quickly.
update complete. Well done.
Yep, we did it.
Yeah.
But I also played a game called Lost in Random. Which is a game that just came out recently. I know it's on Origin. I know that because when I launched it in Steam, it launched Origin anyway.
What's Origin?
Origin.
It used to be a.
It was a hot thing. It was
store. It was like the Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
But nobody did it.
Yeah, remember that? It was hot. It was really hot.
Now
EA's Origin. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's
I
a
was
thing
thinking
that...
of the guys who made Wing Commander.
No, they're making Star Citizen and taking all your money. So
of course,
that's not who that
never
is.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But this game's really cool. It kind of has a kind of Coraline aesthetic. Like it kind of looks creepy. You might call it Tim Burton-esque as well. It's all based around this world where they're big on chance and rolling the dice and randomness. They maybe lean into it a little too hard. There's a part of me that they do it well. I don't want to say that it's necessarily bad. But when I first heard the title, I was like, I hate this title. And it's because we live in a society right now where people going, oh, that's so random. That person's so random. That I hear the word random and I just don't like it.
Yeah.
This game doesn't approach it in that way. It's not, oh, that's so random, and that, oh, he just said hot dog for no reason. Like, it's not that. It's just that, this is a society built around rolling a dice, and they consider that, true equality. And they definitely lean into it. Your character's name is Even. You have a sister named Odd.
Oh, geez.
Like, there is a lot of dice, game of chance references. But the art is really cool. The story is very interesting and intriguing. I'm still very early on into it. I don't think I've even really seen how the mechanics are all going to work, but I know there's a card element to it as well. Like, not only do you roll dice, but also there's like a deck of cards that you essentially can carry around as you're doing this adventure game. And it's cool. I really am digging it, and I'm going to play a lot more of it. It's whimsical.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe a little too much so. But
I like whimsy. Whimsy's good.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. There's a part where you're walking through your house and you can look at every portrait, and there's something whimsical about every portrait. And it's kind of funny for the first two, and then for the last two, you're like, yeah, we get it. Whimsy. I understand.
Sure. You get the concept of whimsy.
Yeah.
Does it? I'm getting a Psychonauts kind of vibe out of the art. Would you say that's fair or no?
Yeah, I think it looks very. So I haven't played Psychonauts 2 yet, despite it coming out.
Me either. This is one of those things where it's like, oh, it's a Netflix original. I'll get around to watching it. It's now Game Pass forever, and now I'll get around to playing it. Kind of attitude.
I have a weird problem where I'm like, well, I feel like I should beat Psychonauts 1, but it's really hard to go back to that game, which is one of my main concerns about 2, is I'm like, well, I hope they made that game control and play a lot better, because I don't think the first one played particularly well, but I did like it. I just never finished it, and as a result, now I want to go to 2, and I'm like, but shouldn't I play 1 first? And that's just a bigger commitment that I'm ready to make. So I will either eventually just watch a YouTube video and play 2, or I'll figure it out. But yeah, very Psychonauts on its style.
Yeah.
A lot of grotesque creatures and dark, kind of gothic themes around stuff. I really, really like it a lot. And
the movement's very
cool.
stop motion animation. I really like that.
Yeah, that's why I said kind of a Coraline vibe. Like that's the thing it keeps reminding me of is Coraline as I'm playing through it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And this is where? Steam? Did you get it, or where did you get this?
I got it on Steam. It's apparently an EA game, so it could, in theory, come to Game Pass eventually, but it's not one of their free ones at the moment.
Right.
It's one of those. It's a new EA release, therefore you can't play it yet. But
yeah, that part of EA play where they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah. It's too new.
Bastards.
But so far I'm having a really good time with it.
Look at all the games we played today that had dice in it. That's kind of a weird connection here, isn't it? Dice, man.
Yeah, dice all over the place.
Yep.
We like it.
Another cool one to get that has dice in it is free right now on the Epic Game Store. And since Bo, you love Epic now, so you should go over there and get this right away from the Epic Game Store. They've got a game called Lareth. Oh shit, I can't remember the name of the damn thing. Anyway, it's one of the 2 free games this week, but it's not
a Dice Legacy, is it?
No, but it's very dice gamey. You're on a, I don't know if I compare it to FTL because it's not really that, but you're on a ship on its way to Mars, and there's some story in between, but mostly it's about shit that happens bad between turns or between rounds to your ship, and then you having to send qualified people to the parts of the ship to fix it, and they do that with dice rolls. And I played a bunch of that too, and just not enough to talk about it too deeply, but Lareth, I think, or Larneth. Anyway, it's a lot of RNG. Like it is, they may as well have called it RNG, but
well,
sometimes that's
fun. Speaking of playing not enough to maybe talk about it, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I played Deathloop.
Whoa, one of us played the brand new hot release Deathloop.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that. Somebody actually played the new game that's getting a lot of reviews and a lot of attention right now. And it was me, unfortunately, for the rest of you, because I don't have a ton to say.
Yeah.
But I did pick up Deathloop because it was getting so much attention and such rave reviews, and I was like, I gotta try this. I gotta give it a go.
Yeah, for background, this is the Arcane Studios game that is now owned by Microsoft via the Bethesda acquisition, and any sequels to it will probably never be on a PlayStation again. But yes, right now a PlayStation timed exclusive and on PC as well. All right, continue your story.
Yes, so I played it on the PC. It seems like it's going to be cool. I am not that far in it. I will tell you why. It's no fault of the game. But like a lot of these games where it's a first-person game where you can approach things stealthily, or you can go in and be tactful, or, kind of hack, or, run and gun, I immediately have a tendency to default to stealth. And it's a really slow, methodical play style. Like, there's a reason I would probably never play one of these games on a stream. It would be boring as hell because it's a lot of me just creeping around behind boxes looking at dudes.
Yeah.
And I was not in the mood to do that
right.
when I sat down and played the game. And I tried running and gunning, and I had a little bit more fun, but that's also not how I typically play the games. So it was a case of like, oh, I think this is really cool. I think there's really something to this game. This is not the kind of game I want to play at the moment. But but I am going to get back into it, and I want to try it because I can see how all the pieces are going to fit together for this game.
Yeah.
The main character of this game, so the idea is that you are in this world that is kind of looped. You know, you've kind of got a Groundhog Day situation. Everybody's reliving the same day over and over again. But you and another character are the only ones that are really aware that there is a loop. And you are trying to kill each other. Or at the very least, she is trying to kill you.
Sure.
And so you are going through, you are trying to take out a group of people, kind of the elite of this society, without getting killed yourself. And you are being hunted while you do it. And you get a bunch of powers and power-ups and things like that. But unless you make it to the next section, you have to do it all within a day. Unless you get to the next section, I don't think that stuff carries over. I'm not sure because I haven't gotten.
I thought
far
everything
enough yet.
all the clues you get, I think, do carry, but I don't know about.
Some of them do. So, like, if I were to die right now, I could skip a section of the game because I know a code.
Right.
You know, like, so I can go through this door.
Right.
I think there's an element of that, but there was also a power up at the beginning that I picked up that I then had to pick up again. So I'm just not far enough to know exactly how all of that is going to ultimately play out. I will report back as I play more, but I think you guys would both like this game. Like, this game is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
The aesthetic is really neat. It's kind of got a 1960s spy vibe. So it actually kind of looks like a No One Lives Forever kind of world.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. That's kind of the vibe I got as soon as I started watching this video loop. It's like, oh yeah, this is very that. I used to love that game, so I'm all for that style. I love that.
Yeah. And
can I ask you something about the time loop mechanic? Because this is the part that normally would turn me off of the concept, not because it's a bad concept, because I just don't jive with it normally. Like, everyone loved Outer Wilds last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was. I could not enjoy Outer Wilds, and the reason I didn't like it is I didn't like being timed. Everything was timed. I'm like, well, I only have so much time to do it this time, and if I don't find enough shit, I'm not going to get it. And
I got good news for you, Scott.
This is timed, isn't it?
No.
It's not. Okay.
It is in the scope of you have, quote unquote, a day to do it. When you are in an area, time does not move. There is no, so like you drop in the area, you're like, okay, this is the area I got to get through. There's people I need to kill. There is no time limit on it. You can go as slow or as quick as you want.
It sounds like they solved my whole problem, because I hate that. Yeah. And this doesn't have that. You've already made me like 80% more interested in grabbing this. Because none of the reviews are clear about that. You know, like they all want to really emphasize this idea that, well, the first day you couldn't figure it out, but the next day you knew some clues, so you did a little better. And it's not a roguelike, but it's, you know, the feeling of like, oh, I discovered more, so next time I'll be even more equipped to handle this. And none of them ever really speak to, well, is this being timed? Do I see a clock the whole time? Does it run out? And I'm like, well, shit, here I am standing, you're almost done. Because that's what Outer Wilds did, and it irritated the shit out of me, despite, you know, everyone loving that game. I just couldn't do it. So you're telling me that's not the case here? I'm in.
Yep. No, you're going to be fine. It plays more, from my understanding at least, more akin to a roguelike, in that the only way the time mechanic comes into play is understanding the mechanics of the world and therefore being able to adapt to them. Like, well, I know this person will always go here. I know this person will always be doing this because they're in a loop.
Yeah.
So
and did you run into any of the technical issues PC people have been complaining about, or all that's fine?
I did fine. For some reason, it didn't recognize my monitor. Like, everything was still fine about it, but like on the screen where I was setting it, it was like, you have a generic P&P monitor. I was like, that is not even what my computer thinks my monitor is. So I don't know where you're getting this from, but that's fine. It still worked fine. So, but again, I haven't spent a ton of time in it. I want to spend more. The main character is really likable. Like, he tells a lot of bad jokes. Sometimes as a result, he can be a little cringy, but he's very funny. Like, I have laughed multiple times at this game from some of the stupid stuff the main character says.
That's rare for you. You usually don't fall for that kind of game humor doesn't. You're not an idiot. It's not like, oh, that's the funniest joke I ever heard. So if you're laughing, that says something.
I mean, some of it's dumb, but it feels like it's done in the giving you an idea of who the character is.
Yeah.
So, like, his hacking tool isn't called a hacking tool. He calls it his hack thingamajig or something like that. And that's like, or it's called the hackamajig.
Yeah.
And like, that's actually what is listed on it. And you can tell it's called that because that's just what he calls it.
Yeah.
Because that's how he talks. Because, when he speaks, he kind of talks like that. He kind of tells dumb jokes. He kind of says weird stuff at weird moments. And it doesn't feel like it's there because some writers in a room thought it was funny. It feels like it's there because they have an idea of who this character is, and he's the kind of person that says stuff like this.
I get you. Well, I'm in. You've convinced me with the time thing. That was my biggest hang up. I hate feeling like I'm in a rush where I got to live by some arbitrary video game time. So with that not being a problem, everything else sounds compelling. Like the figuring it out, the mystery of it all. I love Arcane anyway. I think Dishonored 2 is an amazing game, and this takes some of those cool ideas, brings them forward into this new thing. I'm super into it, so I'm going to get it. You've done it, John. Well done.
Hey, we sold Scott on something. Yep. Perfect.
I got $17 sitting on Steam that's just sitting there, needs to be spent. So I'm going to spend that.
Yep, you're going to spend that and some.
And more.
Go for it.
All right, Bo, tell me all about... Oh my gosh!
I more just have a list of things to go through, and not really any big.
Well, go for it. What do you?
Long-lasting topics. So, 100% in Hades. I've got all the achievements now. I'm still working on heat levels.
Crazy.
So you've beaten Hades. Hades is done. You've beaten it.
I've beaten Hades a while ago, but I'm getting better at the game, like completing higher heat levels. There's about 10 to 20 mutators, and then you can increase the difficulty of them up to. They're worth various points, up to 60 heat. So I'm at the highest levels. I got the second statue at 16 heat. There's still like 40 more heats left to go, depending on if I really want to, how hard of a challenge. I just see how hard of a challenge I can go to and what my max heat level is. So, I'm playing Hades still and enjoying it. Taking a little break though, but I got all the achievements. It's my second game on Steam to have all the achievements.
What's the first?
Any guess on the other one?
Hold on.
What would it be?
Oh, geez. What's something Bo really, really obsessed with?
I mean, I would have probably Banished would have been a good guess, but he has right below his Hades comment.
Well, while you guys think about that, I also played Banished, and I have one achievement left in there. So I had 2 achievements left to do, so I got one, and I'm going to do another one. Banished is an amazing game. Probably one of the greatest video games of all time.
Oh.
You should be playing it. It's cheap.
I have it. I need to pick it up again.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off because I'm just playing this game. I've guessed the achievement.
All right.
Is it that Deus Ex game?
It was mentioned on today's show.
It was.
Oh, okay. Well, Deus Ex?
In a way.
Oh, in a way?
In a way, it was mentioned on today's show.
It's a video game, and it's on Steam. In a way. Hold on.
It's a remade game.
How old?
I played it in its original incarnation.
Oh, is it Kingdoms of Amalur?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Including the expansion content. I 100%ed that game originally.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I should go.
That was a fun game. I really enjoyed it at the time. It was pretty close after launch. I played the shit out of it, and you talked a lot about it too. I don't think we knew each other at that time, but I remember you talking about Kingdoms of Amalur and like Final Score or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I gotta play this, and it was fun. It was like single player WoW, good with the controller, maybe Zelda style. Like they're only making good Zelda games like that now. And so for at the time, it was like, you could play any one of a number of classes. This is cool. Had a lot of depth. It was amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
its time, it was pretty fun.
I still have, even though he's kind of shit poster galore now. That's his real name, but I still have Kurt Schilling's phone number. I could text him and say, "Hey, one of my favorite people in the world, Bo, just 100%ed or you already did. You beat. You've had the thing forever, yeah,
or something like that."
So why am I so interested in picking up that? Ever since John's review thing for Dear Martha, and then you talking about it now, I'm kind of in the mood for that game.
It's a good feeling game because it's you have classes. It has interesting abilities. It has interesting enemies. It's MMO light. You walk around, pick up quests, do them. I heard the remake was not super special. Like it's just an upres on textures. Like you could probably just play the original, but it was fun. It just was like fun. I couldn't wait to do the next quest, fight the next monsters, find the items.
Yeah.
It was good, and I fell into it at the time. I also wasn't working, so I had a lot of time at that time too. It was a pretty dense game. There's a lot of 100%ing it is not a small thing. It's like 120 hours or something.
I liked it better than Skyrim at the time, which may be controversial, but I was having more fun in it than I was in Skyrim, and I think that goes to what we were talking about earlier about Celeste. It's like, where are you having the most fun? And this was really
because
fun.
they're not like simulatory or RPG. It's a action adventure game.
Yeah,
but it had enough of the RPG elements to make it feel like you weren't just playing another Uncharted style.
Yeah, you were leveling up, and you were your items were getting better, and
it's a good blend that you honestly don't find. I guess you can find them, but its execution was really good. The art was very distinctive and great too. Like I wish they were still making games now.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, so this game was almost finished by the time 38 purchased Big Huge Games. Big Huge Games made the game. It had nothing to do with Schilling's other MMO or any of that yet. They converted it all to have the story and the characters and the whatever, and it was supposed to be sort of a prequel of sorts. But had Big Huge Games not gotten absorbed by them and lost by them, because when they all went to crap, that went to crap too, I think that company might still be making really great games, including follow-ups to this, and that really bums me out because they were awesome.
So, anyways, 100%. Hades is my second 100%. So, and I'm gonna get banished. The reason why I want banished is because I want my Steam profile to list my some of my favorite games in the world that I've completionisted in, just Hades and banished. So
I don't think I've gotten 100% achievements for a single Steam game.
And
I don't think
not that it matters all that much, but I was so close to both. Hades, when I picked it back up and banished, I was like, and there's a lot of banished wannabes out there now. It's still not as good as banished because they're trying to make you level up and get a tech tree. Banished is all about giving you all the tools right at the start, and you just try not to fail. You just have anxiety the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not about rewarding you at all, which is what so few games do that with all the tirades have been doing with dopamine. I'm like, Banish is so unrewarding, refreshingly unrewarding. It does nothing to make you feel good. It just wants to make you feel bad, and the only good you feel from that game is if you manage to balance the ecosystem of population, resources. But no little thing pops up saying, you did a good job on to level 2 of your town or something like that. It's just... It just does nothing. Even there's no game over screen. If you lose all your population, that's just it. Just reload a new game. There's no fanfare. I love it. There's this rustic, stoic simplicity to the lack of trying to fillet me while I play your video game that I love. And so like, anyways, I don't know why I worded it that way, but I mean it.
I have 4 games that I have all the achievements for, but when I look at them, none of them actually seem impressive.
How do you know this? How do you see this on your Steam account?
If you click up at the top of your name, so you go to profile, and then, I clicked on
view my profile.
Go to your name or next to community, your name, and then there's a drop down, and then activity profile. Profile take you to your profile.
Okay, so I'm looking. Let's see, comments.
I just got there, and now I don't remember how I got there. I don't remember what I did. View my profile.
Do you click
See, I have a place where it's like achievements on my profile, so I clicked that.
I don't have that.
But that's something that I put there.
You guys should check out my profile. I got some sweet Hades art on my profile too. It's pretty badass.
Is it?
Okay. I know where it is. I think I know where it is.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna see. Okay, so you click your name, go activity, then on the side it says games, and then there's a tab called perfect games, and anything under your perfect games would be a game that you have.
I don't have anything. It doesn't even list perfect games, so I guess
I have a perfect game showcase. So click the link in Discord on my profile, and you'll see my perfect games.
Oh, let's see.
Mine are Batman the Telltale series, then Batman the Enemy Within the Telltale series, Monkey Island 2, the special edition, and Walking Dead Season 2. I've got 3 Telltale games and 1 adventure game. Yeah,
those are your perfect games?
Those are my perfect games.
Oh, so you have some. See, there you
I
go.
have some. Yeah, I got
Space Quest collection, Bo. You got.
Yeah, I'm gearing up for John's inspired me with his Final Fantasy thing, so I think I'm gonna gear up for a Space Quest run at some point.
Oh,
as soon as I'm
nice.
done Disco Elysium.
So
It's
wait.
been a while since I've played them, and
How come you're level 14 on your overall Steam level, and I'm level 19, but I don't have any of these perfect games? What does that number mean?
I don't know.
It's a metric for like participating in Steam related things. Like it's not tied to necessarily anything. Like I'm a Steam level 27.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, did you do this? You got something for this. Hey, did you do this? You get something for this.
Okay. So mostly what I think I'd probably higher than Bo because I've got 2,400 games or something.
Yeah, you probably got a lot of points from that.
Yeah, I have 447 games.
I think I get artificially pumped up with
Senpai, don't beat me, or whatever it is they say in anime.
I liked it. You did the full animation there. Good job.
Honor me, senpai, or I'm not worthy, senpai. Something like that.
Something like that.
Anyways, also this just in. Beep 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 beep. Steam has approved my refund of Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous.
Oh man, that's a bummer. I'm still gonna. I think I'm gonna keep and play because I actually got a code now that I think about it. So I guess
it's
I don't have
probably
any pressure.
fine. It's a long game, and I've got a to-do list. I got Disco Elysium. I got Sea of Thieves. I want to finish Hades, and then I'm gonna move on to some other games like the Space Quest thing, and I want to do an Iron Man run of the hardest mode of Divinity Original Sin 2. I was thinking I'm playing Pathfinder, but I'd rather just do hard mode Divinity. So let's do that then.
Yeah, see, that's where I came with the Celeste thing, because the Celeste thing, I was like, I'm having more fun over here. Like I'm just having more, whatever your reasons are, it's just more fun. There is also
I might buy Celeste.
You should try it. Well, at least try it on Game Pass, and there's a Iron Man mode in that if you're into it. Cool. I haven't tried it, but
yeah, I mean, there's just so many games to play. Like I got caught up in the hype, and when the writing failed to excite me, I'm like, I've never refunded a game successfully on Steam. I had 2.6 hours. I thought they weren't going to let me. I'm shocked.
Oh wow,
0.6 hours over the limit. So thank you.
Yeah, I think you're close enough. They'll do it. They usually err on the side of the user. So.
And it could be that like ignore the writing and the game could be good. There's plenty of games with crap writing. Like I don't know why it just ticked me off so much, but it was just. She just talks. Oh, I know what happened. When you pull that sword out.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There's a sword you pull out, and it's 5 full pages of text. Like I read the first 3, and then by the 4th one, I'm just like, whatever. Like like 5 pages. It was like full text, and I'm like, that might be fun, and I like reading, but I just fell in a hole, and all everyone wants to do is talk to me. And make me read, and I'm like, I want to run and get the hell out of there. Like it just really didn't hit me right.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of that. My other big hang up is there's a ton of voiceover until there isn't, and it's drops suddenly. So you'll be like,
oh, does it?
Voice. Oh, I'm like, hey, this is going to be like the whole game like this, like Divinity. We're going to get VO for the whole game, and then suddenly the people who were talking to me just stopped talking, and they just did text, and that's how it's all been since, really.
Yeah, it's weird. If you're going to do both, I feel like you have to set an expectation early that it's going to be both.
Yeah,
like you cannot be the people that go like, well, it's our opening, it needs to be strong, so we'll voice all of it, because to me then you build a false expectation that it'll be 100%. I think you need to have both voice and just read within the first couple bits of dialogue, the couple hours of your game at the very least.
Just establish with whatever the norm's going to be, so the player's not, thrown by it. I was a little thrown by it.
A lot of people reviewed well, and a lot of people are enjoying that game. So it's a personal taste thing.
I think it just hit you.
Play Pathfinder. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm busy. I got lots of games. This isn't cutting the mustard for me. So.
I wish there were more. Campaign stories in Divinity. I don't want to just go do that island again. Like I kind of need new content over there.
Well, that's why I like the new challenge, like doing Iron Man. So hardcore, you die, and then playing solo, so no party members.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm probably gonna go undead because I like picking up a barrel of poison, and that's a giant potion to put. It heals you when you drink it, so you keep refilling bottles, and you sharpen all your knives on it. Yeah. Being undead's great in that game. Yeah. It's super fun.
Plus, you're all skeleton man when you're undead in there.
Exactly. Skeleton
I did
dwarf.
that for my playthrough with Kyle and them, and it was the most fun being undead.
Except when somebody accidentally heals you, and you're like, dude, WTF?
Baldur's Gate 3 is or isn't happening this year? What's the deal? Is it not happening?
Well, I mean, you can play the first act. It runs poorly on my system, and I kind of want to stream it, and I'm working on maybe some streaming solutions and maybe upgrade a graphics card. Like, it needs to be more stable. It definitely, streaming and playing it really lagged out my computer.
Yeah.
And I kind of just want to play it when it's out, so I am super stoked for that game. That game has to be
But
good.
what was I thought the release date was going to be before the end of the year, and did that change and I just never heard?
Probably got put. I mean, I
don't
hope
think
they
you
push
can
that.
believe any release date in the COVID era at the moment.
But they did do a big update. Baldur's Gate initial release date, October 6, 2020. I'm like, they missed that one. But I think that's when it first came out.
I thought this year was going to hit, but damn, that bugs me.
The pandemic has probably, impacted things. I mean, I get the Larian updates. I just don't read them. I signed up for the newsletter, and it's like delete. But maybe I should read one.
I'm very excited about it. I want that out right now, but I know it's out.
The little bit I played was super promising. The opening was great, and you're on a Mind Flayer ship. Like, right from the trailer, you start on the Mind Flayer ship, and you're in hell. I'm like, this is good. This is really good. So,
I just want it to be done. Can it be done?
And the music's great, too.
Yeah. Larian's dragging your feet. All right.
I have one other thing to say. Oh, not really. I'm just playing the usual shit. Disco Elysium, getting real far in that.
Yeah.
It's even gone deeper. Anyways, it's such a good game.
Very nice. I keep seeing it and going, oh yeah,
I want to see Scott play it.
I want to play it. I really do.
I want you to take the plunge and get into
play it and stream it. I think.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Chat room would love watching you play, but it's not like flashy or exciting for a stream. It's very muted.
Yeah, that's okay.
There are people who love that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't have to all be, freaking Fortnite for me to want to stream it or see it. Austin, or what was I going to say? I forgot now. Shit. Something about Disco Elysium, and I forgot what it was. Poop. Oh no, I know what it was. PC Gamer gave it their best. If you were, they were like, did a list of like 50 games in 2021 that you should play, like absolute must plays on PC. It was like by far in the first place. Like, nothing even came close.
It's a great. It's a novel. If you like reading a novel, it's like a novel with a video game attached. Like, that's what it feels like to me, and it's very interactive and very sharp and observant. Like, the things that. It isn't like traditional stock. I am a knight. Join my knights of this order, and we shall free the realm. It's like, while someone's talking, your brain's like, what if you just died right here and nobody gave a shit about you? And it's like you have these little thoughts in your head and you kind of dismiss them. It's like, your brain behaves kind of the way your brain. You're like, shut up, brain! Like, I didn't want to think that. I'm talking about the Oilers game with my friend. Now, like, all of a sudden, I'm scared of dying, and I think I have a blood clot. Yeah. Like, but that's what that game is like. Like, it's like
a helpful tool and also the primary antagonist of the game.
Yeah. You're your own worst enemy, and like, I'm pretty far in at this point, and something new again just revealed itself, and I was like, oh shit, was I that the whole time? Oh no! Like, and your partner's great, Kim Kitsuragi, best NPC sidekick in a game
ever.
Yeah,
ever.
Super good.
I mean, he legit slammed me. I made legit dialogue choices, and then he legit made fun of me for like other choices I did like earlier in the game. I was like, hey. And I made him mad, actually. I gotta tell this story. Okay. I gotta share something about this game.
All right.
So part of the game is like you're working on a brand new genre of music, and you kind of come up with the brand new genre, and you start at one point. You can decide to start dancing. Like this one guy, this older young kid, is dancing. Like, that's not dancing. This is dancing, and you start dancing, and you really get into it, and then you can roll to get other people to start dancing, and one is to get him to dance. And I failed that roll, and then I yelled out that it was pretty inappropriate, like it was pretty racist. But it was the only option I could have because I failed the roll and had to like say the mildly racist thing, and then I had an option to say an even more racist thing.
Oh my god.
And then he wigged outside, and I had to apologize to him. Because I was just caught up in the moment, man. I didn't mean to call you an MFer, anyway, and he leaves for the day. Like, I offended him so much that he's like, I can't be around you, and he goes away. And I'm like, the game is awesome. I was also high on speed, and I drank and smoked too, so I was kind of.
Well, okay. I wonder if that impacted your choices though, because
no, it doesn't. The
really,
drugs
no
in that
matter
game,
what you
drugs in that game
racist?
do two things. They give you a negative effect, like they damage your health or your morale, or they reduce a stat, and they increase a stat. So if you're like need to do a psyche skill check, better do some pure Holadin so I can boost my stats a bit, so I can succeed on the skill check. But it doesn't really mess you up. At least I haven't paid a price for it yet. And when you take drugs, the electrochemical part of your brain's like, you want to do drugs. It'll make you a super cop. And another part of your brain's like, I don't know, it's unsafe. He's like, shut up, other part of your brain. You're stupid. Take the drugs. There's no consequences to doing drugs. It's the best, it's the best video game literature, if not, arguably in a way it's not a great video game because it's a Sierra point and click text adventure game, and I'd argue maybe Doom or something. There's other better examples of the form, but it is it's great literature. It's like, why do you want to read Dostoevsky? Do you want to read some I don't know, Tolstoy, or why is it all Russian authors? I don't know, but or do you want to read George Eliot or freaking who else writes Oscar Wilde, Charles Dickens, or do you want to read whoever wrote this thing?
Sure.
And it's amazing.
Yeah,
right.
I can honestly say, even having not gone nearly as far as Bo has in that story, it is unlike any other game I've ever played. Like, no matter how you feel about it, even if you walk away from it and go, it wasn't for me, it is not like anything else. Like, it looks like other games, it plays like other games. It is not like other games when you see the assembled full package.
Yeah, I keep hearing things like this and realize that if I'm to, I don't know, whatever game card I have before I'm dead, and one of them should include I've spent some time in Disco Elysium. So.
Yeah, if you're to say top 10 or top 25 gaming experiences of all time, this is on the list.
Damn, that's big to say that.
But not because of fancy controls and fancy. The art's, some of the art's disturbing but beautiful. But it's the writing and a narrative game. Games are tell story, tell big narrative. It's among the best narrative I have ever experienced in a video game.
Nice. I'm in.
Music is really good too. I don't think a lot of people talk about the music in Disco Elysium, or at least I haven't heard many people talk about it.
I have the streamer version playing, so I think
extremely evocative. So
I'm streaming all of it. So I have there's an option to make it streamer friendly. So I don't know if I'm missing actually really good music.
Well, I don't know about that, but I even just the environmental stuff, just the way they score the city, it plays its general themes are so evocative of just where your head's at, kind of haunted, kind of depressed, kind of mysterious. It just hits all the right tones with the music. You talk about Disco Elysium and the theme music plays in my head. That doesn't happen often.
I definitely feel depressed when I'm trying to contemplate whether I'm going to try a skill check to hit on the fish lady.
Here's some of it here. You want to hear some of this?
Sound.
Did that sound funfamiliar? So I have no connection to any of
That's the main theme.
Here, I'll skip that song. So lots of really eerie, ambient. Oh, I'm a big fan of that. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's very. That track is very ambient.
Yeah.
It's just it makes you think of an overcast and gray peninsula or sort of marsh towards ocean, and just wind blowing in your hair. It's depressing. It's a real downer of a video game, but it'll make you laugh. You'll be like, this sucks, and then something funny will happen, and you'll be like, oh, this game's so awesome.
Weird. All right, I need to finally play it. Let's get to the final moment of our day, which is this.
That's a good question.
Quick email from Austin from Tooele, Utah. That's not far from me. It's kind of a dump. I hope he's all right out there. Anyway, just kidding. It's fine. It's okay.
Wow.
That's fine. It's
What
just
did you say? Wait, I missed that.
Jeez.
This guy lives about 45 minutes north of me, and it's a place called Tooele, and it's just kind of a, I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, it was always a dump out there. Maybe it's better now. I don't know. Might be great.
Well, thanks for writing in.
Yeah, but thanks for writing in.
Thanks for your email. Sorry you live in a dump. Now let's read your email.
They were like near the center of that big earthquake we had in 2020, and I always felt bad for everybody out there. But anyway, or I might be thinking of Magna, where they got bad water and stuff. You know what, Tooele? I may be thinking of Magna. Sorry, you're okay.
Right, well, now we've just drug two different places.
Yeah, Magna's a shithole.
It's better now.
Don't drink the water
Our
in Magna.
Magnet listeners are going to be like, what the hell, dude?
Oh, we were safe for a minute. He got us confused with the other place, and then he pulled us right in, too.
There you go. He says this, been catching up on a ton of core, and a question came to me. Would you eat dragon beef? And what would be the best way to make it? How about other mythical creatures? What would be the line for you? Like the ability to talk, human hybrids, others, or other reasons. Would you eat mermaids, surf and turf? These are all questions from Austin.
What a question. Like, how close to cannibalism are you comfortable with?
Yeah, no kidding.
If it has gills and it looks human,
this?
are you cool?
Yeah. I mean, I'd eat dragon beef. That's fine.
I definitely. Well, what if it was a talking dragon? Like, what if it's the
like
I am the
super-
last one,
like
and then you're
super
like, I'm gonna
intelligent?
eat you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have to purify dragon beef? Like if it had magic in it, like
Dragon
you wouldn't want to grow 50 nipples on your forehead after eating dragon beef. Like, boop, 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 boop.
50 nipples.
Yep.
Oh man.
The magic of the dragon gave me ultimate power. And 50 nipples.
I was thinking
upon
of
my
Nash
head.
Maggard and how he has disgusting things on him. I'm like, you definitely get nashed.
I don't know what
Yeah.
I'd want.
I mean, I wouldn't eat a mermaid. Like, here's the thing: I'll know it when it's offered to me. Like, if
Yeah,
somebody
I couldn't
offered
eat
me a
Ariel.
mermaid,
Yeah.
if somebody offered me a mermaid, I'd be like, no. If somebody offered me a dragon and it was in a realm where they were like monstrous dragons, I'd definitely eat that. Like, sure.
Yeah,
That's
what if it
not
was
a-
like, what if it was Rain of Fire Dragons? Those are dicks. They don't talk.
Yeah, I'd eat that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just cook it. In general, like
Here's the
assume-
question: What about Final Fantasy 14 dragons? John?
No,
Would you-
no.
I wouldn't
No,
either,
no,
but
no.
for the
Why not?
very
What's
different
wrong with-
reasons. I wouldn't eat them because they look like they taste
talk,
like
they're way too sentient.
they look like they
way
taste
too
like
sentient.
chalk and dirt. I don't want anything to do with eating those.
No, it
dragons.
hasn't had. That's got nothing.
I think
to
all
do with
animals
it.
are sentient, guys.
Well, but I mean, like they'll have a
Like, wait,
conversation with you about it. Like you'll find out in Final Fantasy, like if you ate a dragon, then you would have to hear from the dragon's brother later.
Yeah.
And he would identify himself as that dragon's brother.
Okay, so
And that he's
but the
really
cow's
sad
like
that
moo
you
moo
ate
moo
him.
moo moo moo, and what he's saying is you killed my brother. You're like, I don't care.
Yeah, right. If I don't
I don't
understand,
speak English, then you're like,
I don't understand the language, then it doesn't matter. But the dragons, they speak to you, and not only that, but the whole point of the Final Fantasy dragons is that they hold grudges for a really long time. So like my like if I had a great grandson, he might get killed by a dragon because I ate a dragon.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point in the Final Fantasy universe is like they live for a very long time, so their grudges last for a very long time.
Right.
Also, like dragons, like get reincarnated and shit all the time in some places too. Like, what happens if you kill a dragon, eat it, and it comes back reborn, and you're like,
I'd be like, well, it worked out fine for you.
Yeah, because they're people sometimes too. But like, I just can't get this picture out of my head of a cow standing on two back feet going moo 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 moo.
You're like, shut up, cow. And you're like, oh,
I don't
God.
understand you. That means you're food.
Yeah, I must eat you. No, moo 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 moo. Like I just can't. I have to draw that cow now.
Dude, you guys ever been on a farm?
Yeah, well, yeah. I punched a cow in the nose once. I felt bad about it. I'll never do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that real?
It was a thing. This neighbor guy who had a bunch of cows.
What?
He was.
By the way, punched the cow.
He thought it was real funny to like.
He thought this cow thought he was real cool.
By the way, I punched the cow in the nose once.
It's a real weird brag.
It's weird 'cause
Sorry,
he said
continue. I want to hear the story.
he said it wouldn't hurt him, and I don't. That's not true, and I feel bad about it now. But this is when I was like 16 or something. And the cow would come over. He'd lure it over there with a cube of food, with the grass cubes. And it would come over and it would hang its head over the thing, thinking it was going to get a thing. He would do this over and over because cows are stupid as dirt. And he would rear back and punch it square in the nose. It was about the same size as our fist. And cow snot would go everywhere. And the cow would go,
oh, cool.
Run the other way. He didn't make me. I did it once when the cow returned, and I felt guilty about it and have ever since. But yes, I punched the cow in the nose.
That's a horrible story.
I know, it is a horrible story.
Right.
I'm so glad you told it because I'm going to take so little shit for saying, like, if I can't understand it, I can eat it. Now that you've told the story about punching an innocent cow in the nose.
Yeah, well, he did.
I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh man, the feedback on this isn't going to be good." John said he'd eat it if he didn't understand it, and that's okay. Yeah. But now Scott's punching cows in the nose for no good reason.
Well, it could be worse. Like he would actually throw those cube things at him and then back them into an electric fence. And he was really mean to these cows. And I'll admit, we ate some of the beef from the cows because they would grow them to then kill them and eat them. These weren't milk cows; they were steers, and the meat was always tough and not good, and I think it's because they're so stressed out, those cows, because people are punching them.
Yeah, stressed animals don't taste as good.
Yeah, like it's kind of awful. It was. I felt so guilty about punching it. I went and told my mom. Mom, I feel really bad. What'd you do? I punched a cow in the nose, and I think she was relieved because she thought I was going to say, I got some girl pregnant, or set fire to a building, or I don't know what she thought I was going to say, but yeah, it was. Those were the days. Punching cows.
You made a mistake, but. I mean, a mistake. I don't know if that's a mistake. Sounds like a mistake.
It's a mistake.
No, you
felt bad about it and you didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't abuse animals. I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I wouldn't do it today to save. I wouldn't do it if you demanded I do it. You'd have to say that you're going to kill my family before I'd punch another cow in the nose. But yeah. When you're 16.
If that cow was like stealing your car, then you'd be okay to give it a one of those. Like you're trained at least if there's a cow thief.
They're so dumb though. Like the third time he did it, like a third time after I did it, and I swear these cows are so dumb. He's like, "Oh, I forgot all about what just happened. I'll come over there again and think you're going to give me the cube of food." Like they're really dumb. Cows are dumb. Not saying it justifies it. Still, they're stupid.
Well, maybe the cow's just that hungry. It's like, it's worth it that maybe I might get food that'll take the punch to the nose.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then he did it.
Then that's even sadder.
Yeah, I want the fourth time he finally went moo 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 and put his hands up.
Cut it out.
Cut it out in my language of moo.
And we understood him, so we wouldn't eat him.
Yep.
You know what though? I have a theory that like dodos, the extinct bird.
Yeah.
Like I have a theory that those were that they were the most delicious food ever.
Yeah.
Because they're extinct.
Yeah.
So like to me, the more mythological, probably the more delicious, because if they're gone, it means things are munching on them a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas if there's plenty of them, they're down the list for predators.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll settle for that. I could really go for some dodo, but we messed up. They're all gone, and now all we have is this.
Yeah. Yeah,
so in general, I'm up to try most of it, but like I don't want to eat a mermaid. That's weird.
No, that is weird.
Like even if it's tail only, like.
What if mermaid shows up, flops up on the shore and goes, "I had a good life," and then dies, and you're like, "Well, I'm not going to waste this lower fish part." Would you just eat the fish?
Well, wait a minute. Did she just tell me she had a good life, or did she say she wanted me to eat?
No, okay. What if she said
she had a good life? She passed away.
Yeah, she just passed away.
But it's a mermaid. You're not going to bury it,
and
right?
she's older too. Let's say you can
Why
bury the upper
wouldn't you
half.
bury it?
Well,
you could bury a mermaid.
It's a mermaid, not a human. They don't bury people. They're in the water.
They just float upside down.
Dump her back
and
in the water.
Yeah, no.
They do the opposite of bury them and let them float to the top.
But in your case, you're starving. You're on this island. You have no other source of food. You can eat the tail, bury the torso. You got this.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, if it was a survival situation, I guess I'd eat a mermaid tail.
I guess the question is it man meat in the tail or fish meat in the upper body?
It's definitely fish meat for a little while, but it depends on if, like, mermaid tails are like sleeping bags. Like, do you eventually find feet within, or is it like...
No. It's
100% a tail.
It's a fish. It's got to be a fish. It's not... This isn't... It can't work that way. It has to be one unified.
But what if it? But what if it does, Bo? We're talking about mermaids. There's no set rules. It could work that way if we want.
No, there's some canon somewhere that covers this that is super official.
Yeah. Well, I wrote down the best quote I've heard all day, maybe my whole life. John Jagger today, the 16th day of September 2021, said, quote, "I guess if it's a survival situation, I would eat a mermaid tail." That's amazing. That's amazing. I want that to be the title. It's too long, but I love it. Yeah, I'm going to keep that forever.
John.
Well done. No better way to end it than that. Big thanks again for that email there, Chucklehead. What's his name? Austin. Thank you for that. That was that was great. And I'll get out to Twilla sometime and eat my words. I'm sure it's fine out there now. You guys are great. Keep it up, Twilla. That's it for the show. A reminder that this entire thing, this whole proposition, is brought to you by you at home, supporting us at patreon.com/core show. We need that to continue to keep the show on the air. So please, belly up. And big thanks to everybody who does. Patreon.com/core show. And you can find the show at frogpants.com/core. You can send those emails to talktothecore@gmail.com. And follow us all on Twitter. Bo Schwartz, John _Jagger rather, Scott Johnson, and Core Pod. That will do it. Before we go, John, final words. John?
Wait, who are you asking for?
You.
From me?
You, yeah.
Yeah. If you're in a survival situation and all you have to eat is a centaur, just think about this: you have to choose between man meat or horse meat.
Horse meat. That's a terrible choice. Because I don't really want either. That's a great one. If you have to eat, which side do you go with? Which has the least amount of hair? Man, right? All right. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, you can shave that all off either way, right?
That's true. What if Bayonetta died?
What have I been doing with my meat this whole time?
Would you eat? Would you eat Bayonetta? Bayonetta died. Like, you have no other food.
No, I'd eat the horse side.
No, if Bayonetta was there, if she died.
Oh, if Bayonetta was there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's not a mermaid or a horse. She's like a human
person. Like,
well, she's not necessarily a person. She's like a witchy, demon-y person, isn't she? Like, maybe she's from somewhere else. I don't remember.
I have seen her hair turn into clothes. Maybe her hair can turn into other things.
Yeah.
Her hair can turn into beef.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that'll feed us. I don't know.
Before we cut your hair, can you please change your hair to meat so we can feed nations with it?
Yeah.
But only if she dies saying, "I've had a good life."
Yeah. If she says that, then everything's justified. Bo, any final words from you?
Don't punch a gift cow in the snout.
Oh, that's right.
That's good.
Wow, that is actually pretty good. That'll do it. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back next time with more. We'll see you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.